Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Mehcast. And oh, what a motley crew we are. Now, I don't know about you, but the design of this sword on the Zelda title screen has always bugged me.
Anyway, I'm gonna go live.
Yeah, because the Master Sword is not a
ladies
rapier.
And germs. Welcome back to the Mehcast, and ooh, what a motley crew we are.
Are we
though? Today we're finally finishing Paper Mario Thousand Year Door.
Gizmo, you want to say it now?
No, I'm good. I was more of a Rob thing. He can pull it off better.
So as you can probably tell over on my end, I'm playing The Legend of Zelda Redux. Because I'd played the original Legend of Zelda quite a few times, and I decided that rather than play through the original version again, I would instead play through a remastered Redux whatever the hell version. Hang on, I'm gonna fix something real quick. There we go.
I'm playing nothing.
And I'm probably gonna log off soon because we had a busy day today too.
You're fine, man. Don't worry about it.
So my appearance on the stream is pretty much gonna be brief.
All right,
now.
Let's go.
You're good.
I'm gonna share this around real quick.
I'll write this minute.
Hey, Peach. Rodus is kind of worn out. You could, do your side B from Smash Brothers and whoop his ass for me. Then we can go home.
You could whoop his 9 buttocks.
So as a surprise to no one, Viacom took down the leaked Sailor Mouth audio.
The leaked Sailor what now?
Sailor Moon audio?
Sailor Mouth audio from SpongeBob, the uncensored audio.
Oh.
Of course they would.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah, surprising absolutely no one, because Viacom, they're the biggest copyright Nazis I know. I'm pretty sure we're probably gonna get all comments, oh, you're an insult for saying they're copyright Nazis. Words don't even mean anything anymore. It's stupid.
You know, words used to have a specific meaning to them. Do I type in Alex or Link? No, I'm gonna type in Link. Fuck it.
Everything means harassment. Now everything means pedophilia. Now everything means.
Well, this is certainly
terrorism.
A thought just popped out of the treasure chest, and the world is
dangerous
covered
to
in
go low.
darkness.
Take this.
It's no use. Take this.
Have a beer.
So as you can see, there's a few things that are different about this version. As we can see, arrows.
Alex, have you ever heard of IDK Sterling?
I've been told about IDK Sterling a few times, but as you can see, arrows and rupees are now two different things.
Good.
I guess I do need to.
What if the puny elder decided it was a nice day to go outside of the tree?
Oh, great! It spawned a fit, and I lost the rupee. That's fantastic, guys. All right.
I wonder if I could. Should I stream on Kick? What would I even stream?
Anything.
Whatever you want. That's basically what I do.
Oh, there goes the frame rate.
Shit. Has anyone else?
For whatever reason, during this part of the game, whenever it gets to the glitz pit,
why is it hearts?
Frame rate just decides to slow down.
I really wish I could. I really wish I could.
Design my Shadow Queen.
Jesus Christ.
You. Very well.
Alex,
is here, the girl who lies before you.
Alex, are you trying to get the heart container?
Well, I'm following 100% guide from ZeldaDungeon.net,
yeah.
which
So
is...
so you're doing like me then, okay. ZeldaDungeon.net, GameFAQs, or...
ZeldaDungeon.net.
It's suddenly darker than usual in Twilight Town.
That's what I've been using. It's more of a streamlined 100% guide.
Oh my god, 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 oh my god,
Oh,
oh my god,
goddammit.
oh my god, oh my god.
And a die.
Does anyone else try to use? Okay then.
Dead. You are dead.
Has anyone else tried using a PS3 controller on PC?
And there's some... Okay,
I believe I've tried to once or twice, but
stream taken
I ended
down.
up trying to use my my PlayStation 5 controller now, and it actually works really well with my PC.
You got a PlayStation 5?
I had a PS5.
Hang on a second, I'll be right back, guys.
Rich motherfucker, you got a PlayStation 5!
And I got no fucking games on it.
Should have gone with the Xbox Series.
PlayStation 5!
I don't do Xbox.
You don't know Xbox, dude. Well, you clearly don't have anything to do with the PS5.
Alex, ask Kevin to give you $100.
Witness my rebuild.
You acknowledge the fact that the PS5 doesn't have games, so why not just switch to the Xbox? That's got a lot more games.
Control this body soon enough.
Hey Alex, since Kevin is rich, maybe he can get you a new
Yes,
guitar.
my glorious witch queen. Destroy these impudent fools. Who are you that would command me?
I guess no need
What
to
sort of
insult.
being are you?
What do you mean? I thought you were bound to obey the one who woke you. Enough of this, Bruno. Do as I say. Now, or I will send you back to the...
God damn it, Gizmo, come on.
You would do well to learn your proper place, slave. No one commands me.
And
And there goes Grotus.
My
Gizmo, come on,
purpose
man.
are fully restored, but they will come into name.
I don't even know what voice I'm doing for this. How, like, Gizmo, what would you use to describe it?
Grading.
Well, it's supposed to be.
the only
Yum.
thing that's
Ah,
genuinely
no.
helped me these days is
What
my
age
voice.
is now placed?
You can
So,
shut the fuck up,
only
bitch!
truly responsible for forming yes.
Gosh.
Okay, I'm gonna stop doing that voice because it's yeah, my throat.
Grading.
I have to be considerate to it.
What did you learn,
Oh.
Kevin?
I've learned not to cater to Gizmo's those whims.
What a fucking
What do we do,
weenie
Mario?
little liar, dude.
Refuse the switch. Yeah, I wish there was a way that you could bot it where it says refuse this bitch. Alright, let's do this.
Hey, I
Fun
say
fact, they ended
those
up
all-
recycling this music for
playing your game.
Mario and Luigi Paper Jam when Bowser and Paper Bowser merge. I'm not kidding.
Alex. Guys, is Alex still there? He isn't playing his game.
Yeah, he's around.
This
He
fighter
did.
is already dead, it just doesn't know it.
Yo, Alex, you there?
Alex.
Alex Mack. Don't make
boy.
Kevin do it.
And I'm back.
Who are those fucking enemies?
What is Mrs. Asa doing in the...
Kitty out
Kuriyami Ryu, the RPG master, said, "What's up? Oh, if I had $1 for every time I've been called a pedo, I'd be a rich master." Super Ben Page says, "Gizmo, there are no games on Xbox."
Yeah, yeah, they are.
You also be learned that Kevin is rich. He has a PS5.
Listen, there are no. You're wrong. There are no games on PlayStation 5.
PlayStation. Hey, that reminds me of an old song.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Someone's gonna bring up the fact that the PlayStation 5 has remake this, remaster that, collection this. Okay, how many of them are new games?
PlayStation.
None.
Right.
It's funny, people have pointed out that The Last of Us as a series currently has more,
It's a duology with remasters and remakes and ports.
Let's see, there is a remake of The Last of Us 1, there is a remaster of The Last of Us 1, and then there is a remaster of The Last of Us 2. So there are 2 games and 3 remasters/remakes.
Here's the other thing too.
More remake than series now. Twisted and evil.
Let's say the Xbox Series has 10 games and the PS5 has 10 games. Half of the PlayStation 5 games are either remakes, remasters, or collections.
Or games, or ones that already played on the PS4.
Or ports. Right, ports. Xbox Series, on the other hand, sure, it's not going to be innocent when it comes to having those either, but as many as the PS5? No. No, that's factually wrong.
Holy shit.
People always forget just because they're relying on remasters, remakes, collections, and ports, they think, oh, those are new games. Technically, yes, but no. It's a yes, but no moment.
Oh,
sure.
We found a commercial I know Gizmo remembers. Wii versus PS3, and it's 2 girls.
No, I've seen those. I've seen that, yeah.
Yeah, and I think I'm gonna post it again because Sony's getting dogged.
They've been getting dogged. There's just people seem to forget that the PS4 is not a thing anymore. PS4 has been getting a lot of exclusives and a lot. PS4 has been getting a lot more exclusives than the Xbox One has at the time, but that doesn't mean the Xbox One didn't have games.
Xbox One also not only had games, it had, technically I think it had better games.
It also had a better user interface, considering you actually had the option to customize an avatar, while the PlayStation still doesn't.
I did it again. I don't even get to keep any of those rupees.
Alex, do you remember this commercial?
State load 0 error. What?
Oh. Now suddenly the crystal stars are responding.
PlayStation has no freaking games. Anybody remember that song? Please tell me y'all remember.
Yeah.
I believe so.
It was like way back in 2007. And then I don't know, but I think I was a junior in school at the time.
I love this moment in the game.
No, wait, I was a sophomore. Fuck. I was a sophomore when the Nintendo Wii came.
Nice. I would have been a preteen when the Wii came out.
I think I was...
Wii came out in 2006, right?
Yeah, I was around 11 at the time.
Yes, I would have been 9.
Oh, nice.
Lydia, do you still have that Wii, or do you know what happened to it?
Huh? I have
Hey.
a Wii still.
I still have mine.
I actually have 3 Wiis
my
now.
Wii.
I have my original Wii, and then I have the one that I found in the trash, and the one that I picked up at a garage sale because it had some games with it.
I have a Wii Mini.
And a spare
I've had
Guitar
this-
Hero microphone.
I've had the same Wii ever since launch.
Nice.
Here's the problem, though. It's getting. I'm picking up some visual noise for some reason.
Black Rock.
You know, the green dots that occasionally pop up, the visual noise. For
Oh,
some
yeah,
reason, I'm
that-
getting.
What kind of cables are you using?
I've been. Here's the thing. It's been like that for a while now. I think ever since Brawl came out.
Right, what kind of cables are you using for it?
Originally, I was using the AV cables, but then I switched over to like the HDMI converter. Either
Okay, the
way,
HDMI converter is probably what's doing it.
Well, no, that's the thing. It's been happening ever since then. I only switched over to the HDMI converter when I moved here.
Huh.
Today. As in, like, I only recently been able to get an HDMI converter last year, and it's still showing visual noise.
Oh, okay.
My energy to talk on here has run out for the night,
God damn
but
it. There we go.
I will still peek in the stream and see how
Alright.
Alex's playthrough is going.
Hey,
You're
Sonic.
fine, man.
Yeah, I was here for a while. I am. How's everybody doing?
I am just enjoying this beautiful moment, and of
Awesome.
all the citizens around Rogueport just cheering on Mark, as he goes through this perilous fight.
Honestly, I don't know why I get a lot of visual noise. Again, I got rid of my AV cables. I thought that was the problem, but then I switched over to the HDMI. I think it's something inside the Wii.
Might be the GPU going. I'd recommend, like, just crack it open, give it a quick clean.
You think that'll work?
Well, it's always a good start for electronics that are that old. Kiriyami Ryu, the RPG master, says the Wii was a huge pain in the ass to get when it first came out. Yeah, I remember.
Oh,
low
dude.
stock, yeah. For a while, we couldn't actually find one
Even
near me.
Luigi's cheering us.
We
Dude,
couldn't
it was
actually
such.
we couldn't find a Wii near me, so what we did was the local library actually bought a Wii for the kids program, and we'd go over there and we'd play a multiplayer and stuff like that.
Dude, that moment hit pop culture so hard that there was this web show called Name Tags, and the first thing the main character says when he picks up the phone is, "Hello. No, we do not have any Wii's for sale."
Yeah, I remember Razorfist talked about that from the time he used to work at GameStop. How did you come back from behind me?
That's a secret.
Okay, I'm gonna go back here.
I mean, who? I mean, what? Who are you talking to?
A
What?
fucking blue Moblin showed up from behind me, and
Shadow Queen just silenced Peach, and the world is counting on us to save the day. Final
Decided-
boss time, baby.
Oh, and I have to. This didn't hit the news because I think it's only happening on this website. LukeyGames.com, a place where you can buy a ton of used gaming products. Cases, manuals, games of no duh. They're having a sale on 360 games.
oh, cool.
Yeah, most of them are half off. Some of them are more. Like some $80 games are now worth $40, and vice versa.
That's pretty cool.
Fucking tech
So-
sites.
So if
Gimme,
you don't want to
gimme.
fill up your hard drive
Come on, Navi.
with
There we go.
something that you can easily get physically to save up on space, internal space anyway, go there right now and grab as many as you can.
And now, just gonna myself a quick save.
Also, the 360 had, going back to the console thing, the 360 had less problems when it came to online.
That's weird because the 360, the PS3 had like the most reliable hardware, of the two systems. Okay, so I guess it's safe to say no, the Wii had the most reliable hardware of the three systems, but it had like some of the worst online, whereas like if you wanted like a balance between.
Oh dear.
No, I'm talking out of my ass. So the Wii had like the worst online service and the most reliable hardware, whereas God damn it, I want that rupee. Fucked up. I'm gonna come back and kill you guys again. The Wii had the worst online service, objectively speaking, even as somebody who used the Wii online service all the goddamn time. And
the eShop doesn't count. Literally everyone used that.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like the multiplayer.
Yeah, like I think the only
because Wii Online multiplayer wasn't as bad as some people made it out to be, but it also wasn't that great.
I mean, it worked.
The way I say it is that people mischaracterize how clunky it was, but it was still pretty fucking clunky.
The only good thing with the Nintendo Wi-Fi connection was Mario Kart Wii, but that was still clunky.
I was getting to that.
GoldenEye and the Call of Duty said good multiplayer on there. It was just that.
Yeah, I was going to get to that. Yeah, like the online games were really selective when it came to functionality.
Okay, could you maybe set the ferry to pathfind its way over to me, because I kind of need that health, guys.
I could tell you there are games that had virtually nobody using the online, or the online was just terrible. Brawl was Brawl was horrible. Judgment was horrible.
Sonic and the Secret Rings. Sonic and the Secret Rings had no online multiplayer. But
that game was bad.
You know what it had? It had
local.
No. Oh, I'm not talking about the multiplayer. It had Nintendo Online functions, which meant that you couldn't copy your save file.
That I never understood. The moment it has any kind of online functionality, you couldn't copy your data. Why?
You know what it had? Leaderboards. Nobody gives a shit about leaderboards. Sonic Colors had fucking leaderboards.
Not for a game like that.
I mean, I didn't even know they had leaderboards.
Well, no. Here's the thing: when it came to the Wii, the moment it has even the smallest speck of online functionality, that Wii game cannot be copied for any reason whatsoever onto an SD card. Any reason, whether it be something as big as online versus multiplayer, or something as small as a leaderboard. You literally could not copy that thing. It's either you erase it or nothing. It was really weird.
Yeah, that was by far the thing that I hated the most, because
everyone hated.
I've had issues with stuff like this, where like one of the biggest problems I ever had in my entire life was, and I say this with maximum exaggeration, because I've had bigger problems than this, but one of the biggest problems I had in my life as a gamer when I was a kid was that I realized I'm playing Redux. I didn't need to... Okay, Link. You know what I need?
Yeah, ho.
Am I, like, not in the right spot? No, I am in the right spot.
You know,
pussy.
Oh. Okay, so I
was
in the right spot. You must choose wisely. Why, old man, why would I want medicine instead of a heart container?
What's also funny, I think the best games that ever have online anything, not leaderboards, but just online activity like versus trading, co-op, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
The games that had that function the best with online was the Call of Duty series, Mario Kart Wii, the Conduit, which I played on my...
The Conduit was cool.
It was good, but very bare bones, but it was really good. What else was there?
You owe for the door repairs. Now pay up.
I was gonna
Fuck
say
you.
Sonic and Sega at the Olympic Games. No, that only had leaderboards.
Hmm.
I think Nights into Dreams also had some good online, but that was only for, let's say, you wanted to trade. I haven't gone to that game yet. I forgot what it was exactly that you're able to trade, but and the Pokemon games on Wii, the Revolution, the Gym
Space.
one.
Oh yeah, Pokemon Revolution.
Yeah,
Battle
that one was
Revolution.
specifically those you could only play with your Pokemon if you synced it up with a copy of a DS game that was
Yeah,
released.
there was your Diamond and Pearl. Yeah,
I think it was Pokemon Diamond and
and
Pearl.
Pearl. Yeah,
Pearl,
that. Yeah, it was
Pokemon
Diamond and Pearl.
Diamond, Pearl, Platinum, Heart Gold, and Soul Silver.
Yeah,
That
there
was
you
what
go.
it synced up
Everything from
with.
Gen 4.
Those are the only games that you're able to sync your DS games
Yeah,
with on the
basically
Wii.
Gen 4, basically.
Yeah, everything else was just like hidden features or hidden rewards or something like that. If you were to sync up your Pokemon games with that specific Pokemon game on the Wii, you're able to play versus mode with others, as long as they also had a copy of whatever other game you were using.
A bunch of space on my hard drive.
Yeah.
Here, why
I always wanted
exactly?
to try
Wait,
them,
why the
and
hell?
yeah, couldn't.
Oh, no.
Oh, also, the 360 had more games than the PlayStation 3.
Yeah.
You can thank the indie store for that.
Well, yeah, that's good.
They had a shit ton of games. I'm not even talking about regular games. Like, there was a ton of like Avatar games, a lot of $1 games, a lot of games you wouldn't even find on a PlayStation Network for one reason or another. Like, what was there? There was Avatar Dodgeball, there was Paintball, there was Avatar Warfare. A lot of these were like very competitive based, but either way, they were functional, and they were functional. They worked. They were still fun to play. There was like Avatar Laser Tag, Avatar Fighter, which was kind of
the motherfucking dirty.
Avatar,
didn't have
like
that
what
game.
the last Airbender, or would
Literally
Yeah,
just using your 360 literally just using your 360 avatars.
Oh, okay.
I don't care that we only got 1 star point. This battle was awesome.
That was what made a lot of
you
games awesome. You're able to use your avatars, 360 avatars at the time. And if you were not going to use them, they would at least appear in game. Like, for example, Arcade Craft.
Yeah.
It was basically like an arcade. It was basically an arcade simulator where you're trying to take care of an arcade throughout the 80s and 90s. And the customers are the friends you are with online. So, like, if you're friends with someone that wears the Michael Keaton Batman costume, he appears playing one of the arcade cabinets. If you're friends with someone who is like wearing like a pink guy outfit, he appears. If you're friends with someone who's wearing like a Little Mermaid costume, she appears. If you're friends with someone that's like short and like wears like a My Little Pony shirt, and then like has some like wrestling memorabilia, they appear. It was fun. It was funny. It was cute. It was adorable. I like the fact that they were able to use.
How was Town of Salem 2 12 gigabytes?
We don't speak of that.
I just got a notification from Windows saying that my C drive was low on space, and I just decided okay, I'll go in here and I'll see what's up, so to speak. And turns out, fucking Clue is 3 gigabytes, a fucking board game? Are you serious? But it turns out Town of Salem 2 was 12 gigabytes, even though on the Steam page it says that only 1.4 gigabytes are required.
Kind of freaking board game are you downloading?
They must be adding up like the updates.
I have I guess. Kind of like how Fortnite started off as like 2 gigs and then came as big as everything.
That's basically everything with live service.
Yeah, like it had all the events, it had survival mode, and then there's like a mode where it doesn't have the.
I had to check and make sure for a second that I wasn't accidentally saving my stream to the fucking hard drive, because it just blacked out my whole screen. It was like, you're running low of space on the C drive.
Yeah, I mean, live service games do have a lot of storage eventually. Like, they start off small, but when
it's time to say goodbye to Rogue Ports.
I mean, Daylight.
We'll be seeing this place. We'll be seeing this place again when Paper Mario Thousand Year Doors remake comes out.
Can't wait until that comes out.
Oh
Tumbling
yeah.
down, tumbling down.
I wonder if they'll keep the news.
Tumbling down.
Oh yeah, speaking of games, how about we get to some news?
Oh yeah. Oh, hang on. I actually want to bring up something real quick. So, somebody from Rocksteady, when online somebody said to somebody from Rocksteady, you guys shouldn't have hired Sweet Baby Inc. to rewrite your game for you. And then they said, well, joke's on you. That was actually written years before they got involved. Congratulations, guys. You had an opportunity to...
you played yourself. The fuck?
Yeah, you had an opportunity to put that off on somebody else. And say, you know, oh, yeah, okay, these guys are responsible. Ow, fuck. Come on.
But no, you made yourselves responsible.
Yeah, these guys
so
are
we can't
responsible
even
for
play.
this. And it would have been the smart option to
No.
say, like, hey, yeah, these guys who have a bad reputation already are responsible for this. But no, like, you said that loud, you said it proud. We decided we were going to kill the Batman that everybody loved and you know, adored and grew up with. And you know, now 2 generations of people, well, both people who grew up with the Arkham games and people who grew up with Batman the animated series have turned on you.
And that was before the guy could ever get a Lifetime Achievement Award.
Mm-hmm.
Like, imagine if he did. He would be standing right beside the guy who did Optimus Prime.
Yeah.
Dude, that would have been sick.
I think that's the last.
You got two generations of childhood right there that could have stood right beside each other.
We had they had one job. Make a good. I could forgive the game if it was somewhat good, but like, no.
Well, I've seen the design. I've seen the early design documents for it. It went through some changes.
It went through some
Dealing with
shit.
these changes, violently it changes.
I think it was shit. No matter how much changes they were gonna put. Let me put it this way.
Have you seen Harley? Have you seen the original Harley design?
Yeah.
I mean, would the design really change anything if the gameplay and story sucked?
Like, dude,
the gameplay was going to be Arkham, but with guns.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Let me put it.
You know what we got?
Let me put it.
Something else. Something.
Let
terrible.
me put it. Let me put it this way. For you to recharge your shields, what do you imagine how you would recharge your shields? Waiting, getting a shield boost, get an item, kill a certain amount of enemies? No. To recharge your shields, you have to shoot enemies in the legs.
Yeah, no, that wasn't. That shouldn't have been in. That shouldn't be in any game.
That was in the beta.
That just promotes bad gameplay.
And here's also something else. It doesn't help that was in the beta. Imagine having to go through and find enemies that have no legs.
Fuck, that's a 5 rupee.
Like,
there's a reason why everyone goes for headshots.
Yeah, but there's the thing. You can only recharge your shields by shooting enemies in the legs. No headshots, no kill streaks. You specifically had to shoot them in the legs. That was just in the beta. Imagine finding enemies that have no legs. Where are you supposed to shoot them?
Guess I'll just die.
So anyway, gaming news.
I don't know. I got nothing.
There we go.
Oh yeah, Sweet Baby Inc. You're telling me that Rockstar of all people have gotten Baby Inc. of all companies to help them make? Yeah, did I say Rockstar?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Same difference because they're dealing with a mature game. You're telling me that you've got Baby Inc. of all people to help you with Suicide Squad out of all groups? Not the Teen Titans, not the Justice League, not the Justice Society, Not even like the fucking the Eastern Titans or whatever the fuck.
Titans
This
East,
is the
yeah.
Suicide. This is Suicide Squad. The guys who got fucking people killing criminals. These are criminals. Some of them unrehensibly unable to feel sympathy for. You're telling me you got Sweet Baby Inc?
Sorry.
Funny thing
Dude,
is, I hadn't even heard of them. I didn't know that they existed before they started showing up.
Yeah, it wasn't until people started doing research into like who was doing this that they found out that there was a company called Sweet Baby Inc.
Yeah.
Oh, and it doesn't help. Enidia Sarkeesian's in that company too.
Oh, you're fucking kidding me.
No, I'm not kidding.
She was involved with that
she's
dog
employed.
shit operation.
She's employed.
Well, she had to go somewhere after she stopped doing feminist frequency.
Going somewhere means that she would.
add.
Going somewhere would mean that she's helping society in some way, like going to a gas station. Like, fuck, at least you're helping someone pay for their gas.
True.
Like, fuck, at least you're helping someone pay for their gas. Here, it's like, who are you helping exactly? The marginalized
Alex,
people who don't play your
I don't mean
games?
to I don't mean to interrupt this, but somehow Grotus and Crump survived.
Oh wow.
Man has a head. It's just a head.
Yeah, it's just a bouncing head, and
Ooh.
I don't get it.
I go up here.
Anyway, continue.
And here's another thing. Look, I get that there are sometimes you want to add a little character to certain characters. You know what I mean? You want to add a little bit of you want to add a little bit of salt to something that's already, fact of the matter. That's what they've been doing with a lot of characters nowadays in movies and TV shows and that kind of stuff. Some well-deserved, some not. Some interesting, some not so. And like, for example, Polka Dot Man. Who the fuck cared about Polka Dot Man? Nobody asked for him to come back.
Polka Dot Man should not have been in that movie.
Right, but he worked.
Things could have been this movie.
He very much worked because the original Polka Dot Man was nowhere near as lethal as that guy. It was nowhere near as creative.
I almost feel like you should create a new character if you're gonna take somebody as far away from their original concept as that.
Right.
Because
but
I know, but that can also work in some situations. Look at the spot.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because like again, Polka Dot Man was a bland villain of the week kind of character. He was just a guy covered in polka dots.
I can understand the thinking, but I'd rather leave things like that behind if we're going to to try and say, I understand. Hang on, trying to figure out how to. There we go. I need to go up through here and over that way, or not.
What I'm basically trying to say is, if a character is bland enough or just not forgotten, but niche enough to the point where he's played as a joke, I think you can do something with the character to make him at least 5% more interesting. And they did.
Counterpoint, Dog Welder.
Oh, that name was already interesting enough.
Dog Welder is a comedy character.
And yet they're able to.
The entire reasoning behind him and the existence of the rest of the Section 8 crew is as a parody, there's not really. Oh, god damn it.
Yeah, but parodies can be interesting too.
Yeah, but we shouldn't have parody characters in stuff like the Suicide Squad, for instance.
But then again,
right? But here's the thing: Polka Dot Man was never a parody character. He was supposed to be taken seriously. So we have to remember this was back in the day, in the golden age, where they're just starting out, where villains were legitimately villain of the week kind of thing, or they were cannon fodder. Like the most heinous villains were racial caricatures and like war
Yeah,
propaganda.
like the white
stuff.
man.
Yeah, the white man, the yellow man, the brown man, whatever the fuck kind of man color. But you know what I mean, right? So when they tried to rework Polka Dot Man in a creative way, I thought it was just that it was creative. But here's my thing: if they try to do something like, let's say, on something like Superman, they've already done it. They've already worked him so much that he's a character that's stuck in pop culture. I think it was to the point. I think it was up until they gave him a movie that we already got the idea of who Superman really. No.
No.
The moment he got his
I'm
first.
going about the game, not you.
Oh no! Okay. I was like, what the fuck, bro? You're against that movie? Are you human? No, I'm kidding.
No, that movie is terrible, though.
Oh boy. I will use your
movie. Superman the movie is legitimately one of the worst films I've ever seen.
I will use your gi belt. I will use your gi belt to floss my ass.
I mean,
anyway,
yeah, but back in the day, it was
especially
real, right?
the TV cut. That is, ugh.
No, TV cuts are different. No, those are always weird. But anyway, I think
the TV cut was just something that I figured we could watch for the sake of it. But like just generally speaking, Superman the movie is a legitimately awfully written movie, and that fucking ending, woof. Ugh. You were Mario. I need to know what drugs you were on when you wrote that.
Come on, you're telling me that he didn't do his great Superman, the greatest of Superman.
No, I'm not talking about Christopher Reeves. I'm talking about the writing. Because the writing in that movie is abysmal.
What about Superman 2?
Superman 2 is even worse.
Look, I just called those movies
the Superman films only get worse as they go on. Like Superman in 3 isn't good. Superman 4 is legitimately the worst fucking thing
it's
ever
campy.
Made.
Come on.
And yeah, I agree. Superman 4 was bad.
I think Superman 4 is funny, unironically funny. It's campy enough.
Yeah, it's a riff on how bad
Superman
it is.
Returns was
that
a
could have been good.
waste.
That one was boring. That one was boring. They got a great Superman casting. It's just everything else was just either boring or miscast.
Great Superman casting, great Lex Luthor casting, especially in hindsight. Yeah. Although, I have to say, hey, the positioning of who he was going after, or was on the wrong end of the age spectrum, we'll say.
Son of a bitch.
But the plot was fucking retarded.
Retarded. I think I'm gonna have to do a deep clean on my 360. But what I'm trying to say is, movie taste aside, we have a general idea what Superman is supposed to be like. No matter how great or boring you may think Superman himself might be.
Right.
A Boy Scout with a heart of gold that has just as many temptations as a human does, but wants to not only set an example, but also
the embodiment of truth, justice, and the American way, and stuff like that.
Right.
But the problem is that
Polka Dot Man, on the other hand, is like, what are we supposed to think of the guy? He's like, I'm Polka Dot Man. Hear me.
I'd say we're not supposed to think of him at all. He's one of those characters that needs to be relegated to the dustbin of history.
I mean, but again, here's the thing, though. You can make a bad old idea into something new. I mean, I guess go into like a little bit of Marvel. Look at the Spot, for instance.
Oh yeah, no. He was a good character. It's just people didn't take him seriously enough, because you got a guy who can literally create holes to other dimensions and go literally anywhere he wants to. People think that's not as scary.
Yeah, the thing about the Spot was that his powers didn't change. It was just how he was used that changed.
They didn't evolve like they did in the Spider-Man movie that came out. It wasn't like he could throw dots or anything.
Excuse me?
He just so happened to take the advantage of the one power he has to the max. Unlike the other one in the movie where his powers literally evolved. Like now he can make small holes, big holes. He can now like jump into his own dimension and then other dimensions. He could throw portals. No, it wasn't like that. He just worked with what he got. He MacGyvered his power, if anything. Makes his clothes, cuts his own hair, shaves his balls of plastic silverware. What? No, but for, you know what? Maybe this should be like a debate topic or something. I think we could do something with this. Should we change golden age? Should we change golden? No. How should I phrase it? Should we?
Should you change like old comic characters to try and give them a second life?
A little wordy, but also that's too broad. That old could mean 90s or 80s or even 70s. I mean, like, look how many characters there were and that were considered old now. The 90s are now considered old. Fuck.
Yep.
Yeah.
How about failed?
I literally just turned
villains or
30.
heroes.
I got called an old man recently. A grown ass man actually was was what I got called. And it's like, yeah.
If he doesn't know how to turn on a Game Boy with the game out, then he's too young.
Dude, I have cousins that literally don't know what a DVD is.
Bruh, if you don't know what a DVD is, that's not an age thing. You're just stupid.
Yeah. Coming soon to own on DVD and video from Walt Disney Entertainment.
You have an excuse if you don't know what a beta tape is. Literally almost nobody knows what that is. Up until James Rolfe started going on, oh, here are the many forms of movies I have. From
I
like
actually
have
some Betamax.
No, but here's the thing. Nobody knew what they were up until I think James Rolfe decided to go through the many physical forms of media he had. Think about it like this. He was like, I have DVD, I have
guy, so.
He was like, I have VHS and DVD. I was like, okay, yeah, everyone has those. I have CED. CE what? I have Betamax. Beta what? I have Laserdisc. What the fuck is that thing? It's like, you know what I mean? It's like, no, literally everybody only knew about DVD and then VHS. Nobody knew about everything else. Blu-ray, yeah, they knew about that too. But like, who the fuck is like gonna know? Who the fuck's out there saying, I loved watching Dracula on CED?
I loved watching Dracula on my Sega Nomad. I don't know.
You know, like, I got some Betamax footage of Sonic on Game Gear. It's like no one brings those up. Almost, and if they do, it's not from personal experience. If there are. Like, it's always been VHS, DVD, and sometimes Blu-ray. That's what people grew up with. It's like no one grew up with Oh, I'm not going to say no one, but, like, the people who do grow up with CED, it's like... are people like James Rolfe. They're like movie nuts.
I bought a lot of Betamax tapes on eBay, specifically for the Top Gun Betamax tape that was included.
I heard that they have a clearer picture than VHS.
They did. They were actually a better format at the start, but then they started making compromises to try and get longer movies on there, and they wound up about the same.
I think it was because VHS. VHS killed them for a reason. I think it was
the
people say
industry.
People say that. I don't think it was the only reason. I think the moment they started going after Disney and saying, "Hey, you know what? We're cheaper and you can do this," it's like, yeah, I think that was also the other reason. Like, VHS was like easier to gain access to. They were cheaper. and literally everyone watches porn. So yeah, they mix well together. But I don't think that was the only reason. I think it's because the moment Disney got a hold of it, then they started getting a lot of cash. Because they got like multiple versions of Alice in Wonderland, multiple versions of The Little Mermaid, multiple versions of Sleeping Beauty, so on and so forth. That's when they start getting the big bucks because Disney was getting more and more known. And the moment they started going for the home releases, put two and two together.
Yeah, and they had that stupid Disney Vault.
I actually have, I think, a couple of those.
Oh yeah, me too.
Yeah, like the big plastic cases. I think I have those. I think I have a few of those.
Thankfully, yeah, I have a few of them. Fucking Tektites! Too many of you.
Okay, I got it.
Must commit exterminatus.
Should we... Golden Age characters, should we refresh them for a new audience? That's a better title.
That... Refresh for a new audience gives off certain negative connotations these days.
Yeah, but that's why it would make a good debate topic. Should we refresh Golden Age characters?
Show this to the elderly woman.
Or should we refresh characters stuck in the Golden Age? There you go. That's a better one. That's a better debate topic.
I actually know somebody who's done stuff like this. This Stephen Butler, who has done quite a lot of comic book art throughout the years. Some of my all-time favorite comics have been drawn by him. Has been attached to a number of revivals of Golden Age and Silver Age heroes who have either fallen into the public domain or otherwise managed to escape the clutches of the Walt Disney Corporation and Warner Brothers. Need more hearts. Fuck it. Oh, god damn it. That was my only bomb. But, yeah, and I own a couple issues of his, of the revival series that he's been involved with, and they were quite good. So that's actually a good point of reference. I need to go ahead and pull that up.
We should make that a series. Debates, as long as, we're friendly with each other still.
Yeah. Fucking Zoras! And no, they're not fucking Zolas. Subsequent games call them Zoras. Yeah. Fuck.
The Onion posted up an article. M. Night Shyamalan says, well, not so easy to make a live-action Avatar, but that doesn't suck shit, huh?
M. Night Shyamalan's version of Avatar The Last Airbender is actually half decent compared to the Netflix version. And no, I'm not kidding.
Let's not.
No. In terms of production quality, it's better.
Bro.
Nope, that's not bullshit. I actually saw a thread recently where people compared aspects of the Shyamalan film to the Netflix series. And guess what? The Shyamalan film had better costumes and better wigs.
Boy, do I want to talk about that.
That is it's a very heavily qualified statement, I'm aware. But the point is, somehow M. Night Shyamalan is now no longer the worst, now no longer holds the title for worst adaptation of Avatar The Last Airbender.
Okay, Alex.
Uh-huh.
Mind if I regale what I have seen of Avatar: The Last Airbender on Netflix?
Feel free. Although I will say, hey, if you were expecting them to hit it out of the park the way they did One Piece, you're wrong. Because the One Piece show was put together by people who actually give a shit about things.
Even if they put in adaptation-induced plot holes?
I wouldn't say that the Mihawk stuff is an adaptation-induced plot hole.
It is.
No. Oh, see, the warlord system is going to be disbanded anyways, so I kind of think that if
Yeah, but here's the thing: the warlord system gets disbanded much later in the story, right? When Doflamingo gets
no,
dispatched.
I'm aware. Or I'm just
It
saying,
doesn't
like
make
that's
sense for the warlords, or any of the warlords, to willfully disobey the world government, and especially when it's in the demand of a high-ranking officer or of the Marine.
Sorry about that. I'm air dusting.
that's true. A woman.
'Cause the thing is, Alex, like it's like the problem with the live action in One Piece for or Mihawk. It's like Mihawk, at the very least, leaving Luffy and his crew alive makes sense in the original. All since by that point, Mihawk just happened to have stumbled upon this whole shindig. Like he didn't. He was already. He was
And
already in heavy pursuit of Don
butter.
Krieg and his crew. Without Don Krieg, there's literally no
Have
justification
some
for why
red
Mihawk is
medicine.
even there, aside from orders from the Marines. But the thing is those orders make it
Hey,
worse, because now he's directly disobeying the world government, could have his title as a warlord stripped from him, and then he'd once again be a target.
Oh yeah.
anyways,
Yes, literally.
uh, anyways, it's they're choreography issues with this that make the Shyamalan film look like some kind of expertly crafted wuxia movie.
Okay, so Alex, I've seen the first episode of the show. Would you mind if I regale on
Oh,
the tale?
feel free. I also I'll just mention, and I've seen the still images of the Air Nomad thing. And I remember
The
the
massacre
thing
of the
they said about not wanting to make it more like Game of Thrones, and I'm baffled because there was more graphic violence in the G-rated cartoon.
Y7 rated, but yes.
The same difference, really.
Anyway, okay, so the show kind of opens on the whole air temple, well, on the whole Southern Air Temple thing, and Aang just happened, and Monkey Atsu is told all that he needs to tell Aang about his destiny and whatnot, and that he has to accept it and all that jazz.
Oh, yeah. So I gotta go grind some rupees. But at least I have red medicine now. Means that I'm not going to die at a moment's notice. Come on, P-hats. Sit down. You know you want to. You're hyperactive.
Don't tell me what to do.
What? No, I didn't mean to do that. No.
Anyway, on to the news.
Yeah, Kevin, and you can go ahead and just say what you were gonna say.
So, the thing with, so it's like at first the so, well, after that, Monkey Atsu, who is one of Aang's mentor, or is and a very close friend of his, is partially due to the fact that he was very close friends with the previous Avatar, Roku. And
Roku means 6 in Japanese.
yep. And Roku, and in the original, well, the entire backstory of Aang's relationship with Monkey Atsu and whatnot is revealed, rather is showcased to us in the span of an average episode runtime, which is 22 minutes, and half of that episode's runtime is spent on establishing why Zuko is chasing the Avatar in the first place because one of his subordinates was questioning why they were serving Zuko and whatnot, or why anyone wants to serve Zuko and whatnot. And Iroh was telling the story of how Zuko had spoken out in the council. But anywho, and the thing is that Aang ran away from the Air Temple because he didn't want the whole responsibility a shindig
With
like
great
thrust
power
upon him,
comes
and
great responsibility, with which he will reject.
and and Aang was 12 years old when he learned that he was going to be the Avatar.
Yes.
So that wasn't, and so unfortunately, that's not exactly something that a kid his age would want to take on.
He wasn't headstrong enough to take on that challenge.
And so it made sense in the original. Oh, why? Aang had run away. In the adaptation, Aang just goes out to clear his head, and just happens to end up in the storm. So he doesn't even run away.
So
He
we've already lost the initial thematic, because I have seen the first episode of Avatar: The Last Airbender. It's been a long time ago, but I have seen it, and we've completely lost the plot.
Yeah, we've
already lost the plot in the first episode. We've Harry Pottered our entire plot within less than the space of time that Harry Potter took to ruin itself. The movies, I mean, not the books.
Yeah, and the thing is that Aang after Aang ends up immediately after Aang. Oh, I should also mention that before Aang leaves the Air Temple, Aang is told about his responsibilities as the Avatar without even showing the objects that are supposed to be representative of the Avatar, because those are the same objects that were chosen by every Avatar before him.
Yeah, that's a reference to the that's a reference to the Dalai Lama.
Yeah, and that's something that even the Shyamalan movie referenced, oddly enough. And I'm just like, why is it that the Shyamalan version had something accurate to the source material compared to this, and the Shyamalan version was shit as well?
Well, they've lost the essence of what made this what it was without even. It's almost like animation should stay animated or something.
Exactly. And then of course it's like Aang it's like after Aang immediately there was a whole subplot of an earthbender trying to get trying to get intel for a bunch of people, all the warn like the air nomads and whatnot to warn people of the Fire Nation's declaration of war and whatnot.
Kevin, are we flashing back to Superman the movie where we have that random subplot of the robot for absolutely no reason?
No, because this actually does have some relevance, since Sozin wanted to kind of redirect their attention, and so mention that way he can go after the air nomads without any opposition. And he was doing this with the comet, which, by the way, the comet is a plot relevant thing in which firebenders get their powers amplified. I'd buy it. And Sozin ended up leading the raid on the air temple. Also, we do actually get to see see them kill off quite a few airbenders, including Monkiatsu, which was off-screened in both the Shyamalan movie and the cartoon.
Yeah, I remember the cartoon was one of the things I was going to mention because the visual in the cartoon is incredibly it's incredibly impactful. Like you just see him his corpse is there, it's all dried out, its bones, and he's surrounded by firebenders.
Yep. That was episode 3 of the cartoon. Keep in mind, this was literally the 3rd episode into the show. Oh, but in the movie, it's like we end up seeing that. And Alex, when we do get to watching Avatar: The Last Airbender, or you're gonna end up seeing that as well.
And I have the white sword. Haven't even gone to the beginning of the first dungeon yet.
So yeah. So, then Aang ends up above court. So Aang and Appa end up falling into the ocean. And then we cut to like ocean as the Southern Air Temple is getting decimated.
Hang on, quick question. Do they at least have the famous opening monologue?
They have it at some point in the they have it later on. They have the opening monologue in the
Fucking kidding me.
After Aang is found. After Aang is found by the Southern Water Tribe. Oh, and here's the thing. There's a plot point in the first episode of the show where Katara says that nobody is allowed near the abandoned Fire Nation ship that's in the Southern Water Tribe. But unfortunately, it seems that the show forgot this detail because Katara seems to regularly go there to practice waterbending.
This is why whenever you're making an adaptation, you change as little as possible.
Yeah. And it's just when the changes make no sense or cause plot holes in the show.
Because like one of the things I really like about the One Piece show is that rather than having the thing with Zoro and what's his name and being a flashback, it actually happens in the when Zoro, when Luffy,
I believe you're referring to Zoro and Helmeppo.
Yeah, I was like, wait till my dad hears about this. That guy.
Which, by the way, fun fact, in the first episode Helmeppo is in, he's voiced by Troy Baker in the Funimation dub. Later on, he's voiced by Mike McFarlane. Then again, I'm guessing Troy Baker might have been too expensive to keep after a while.
Probably. It's fun fact, Troy Baker used to work for Funimation back in the day.
Yep.
He's featured in a number of Dragon Ball related media.
Yep. And the first time he ever did voice acting was Archer in Full Metal Alchemist 2003. Archer is a filler character from the 03's made up plot line.
No.
News.
So Aang
Forgot to save.
So after Aang ends up,
Okay then.
so Katara and Sokka end up going out to the right, ends up going out to go fish thing and whatnot, and Sokka and Katara's what and the water currents end up taking them to nearby where the iceberg, where the ice thing that Aang is sealed. Aang sealed himself in Appa and is. But the thing is that in the original, Katara getting mad and losing control of her waterbending is what caused that to surface, and she understandably gets mad at Sokka for
Being a dick.
being a dick and kind of a sexist.
Hi,
In the
I'm Cock Dick Baller character, and unfortunately in this series I will not be in Cock Dick Balling.
so
Balls.
yeah, Sokka does have some quips here and there, but not nearly as good as Jake Desana was in the show.
Is he as much of a wet blanket as he was in the fucking movie?
I haven't gotten far enough, but I will let you know. Because unfortunately, my sanity has decided that I must continue.
Well, you know, your sanity is not included, so...
You haven't even watched watched all of that show yet.
No, but I do get to reference it because of the name.
Fair enough.
Holy
Anyways,
shit. Holy shit.
so-
Holy shit. I might actually... Yes!
Anyway, so yeah, Katara and Sokka save Aang, but then Aang is like, "Oh, where's Appa? Appa, whatnot," and he somehow has the Sky Bison whistle all in the first episode when that doesn't happen until he and the gang go to that marketplace after learning about Sozin's comet. So, and also they forgot about Appa. And also they forgot about Appa beforehand when that's not something that was forgotten in the original animated show. So you forget the animal companion of the main character.
You just took away one of the major quest elements of the fucking show, guys. I hope you're happy.
And here's the thing. And Appa was how they got back to the tribe. And here it's, I think Katara ended
I'm
up
getting Disney live-action remake
waterbending.
elements from this, where they just have random shit occur to pad out the time, and then the stuff that actually needs the screen time doesn't get the time.
First episode is over an hour long.
Over a goddamn hour long. And
most of these are like, most of these are like 45. I'm to an hour long in terms of duration.
all they had to do was copy the scripts and storyboards for the original. That's all they had to do.
And the original creators of the show left the series after the first episode. And they did work on writing the first episode of the live action and show, and I'm like, boy, I'm sure they would have wanted their names removed from this project. 'Cause I know I would if somebody were adapting anything I wrote. And it's like Zuko, who like he looks like the design of the actor and the character look closer to the original show than in the Shyamalan movie, but he still looks like somebody just punched him in the face. Like there's barely any scar tissue around the eye, if you've seen what Zuko looks like there's like third or second degree burns on his face, and he can't even really open his left eye.
Yeah.
That's how
He's
bad
got
the
he's got a little bit of Big Boss going on.
yeah, and I'm just like so. Oh, you're telling me. So you're telling me that with all of your budget, you couldn't even afford makeup you couldn't even afford good makeup for the scar tissue when the nostalgia critic could make a more accurate
Yeah,
Itsuko cosplay with
I have
Dante
to.
fucking Bosco.
Yeah, I have to bring that up. Why does the Nostalgia Critic have better production value for some of his stuff than these guys did? Is
He's
it
got
because
better.
I mean, he actually gives a shit. I know that, but that.
And here's the thing: that was intentionally bad. And
Yeah, it was done on a budget. It was intentionally kind of goofy, but at the same time, I'm like, there's a bit more authentic effort put into this whole thing.
Like you could actually feel the effort when Dante Bosco is pelvic thrusting.
Well, Dante Bosco also actually put on, you know, he's not a coward, and he actually put on the goddamn makeup.
Yeah. Yeah, Bosco loves this.
He also knows how to take a joke.
Yeah.
And now I've got the magic shield.
All right, guys, it's time to go through the pit of 100 trials because I got a trouble to do.
Best of luck.
News!
Yeah, we can go ahead and talk about some news.
Let's get right into the news.
Joke, Keemstar.
Yeah, I had to do it.
Mm-hmm. Did you? Did you really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You had to do it to him.
No, wait, Keemstar's right here.
Do you touch
No, I was just mimicking him.
Do you touch kids?
I thought that was Hassan Piker, but Hassan Piker has been in the news lately. Again.
Hassan Piker's got a different pitch right here.
What a fucking
Oh,
measly little
one other thing I
liar,
should
dude.
note that the Netflix series did a bit better than the movie. Zuko and company actually try to stop Aang from escaping the ship, of even trying to shoot him down and whatnot.
Okay.
While in the show, he's just like, okay, he just lets him leave, or he just ends up letting him escape.
People always think that. It's like, oh, they just let him leave. Okay, yeah, they just let him leave. Yeah, it's that simple. You can read their minds. How about their shock? The shock of seeing an airbender after so many years.
Yeah, but the thing is that even in the show, Zuko tried to stop Aang from escaping.
Right, but what I'm saying is that nobody just let people go as they watch. Sometimes they're in shock. Sometimes they're trying to think it over.
Yeah, but the thing is that it was still an adaptation-induced plot hole on the movie's part, because Zuko and Iroh just sit there, whereas Aang ended up leaving. And prior to, and in the show, prior to Aang being captured, Zuko did engage him in a fight, and they did see him in action. Plus, as Aang did smack around Zuko, in his own vessel. So, at the very least, the show did get that aspect right. But the issue is but another issue, Katara and Sokka end up not. Sokka like in the original show, hesitant to go after Aang, but like his original counterpart, he ultimately was willing to agree to it, and while also saying like, okay, like he was telling everybody to take care of the village and whatnot. I'm like, okay, that's neat. And in the show, they had to figure out how to get Appa to fly, by which Aang says little yip yip, and then Appa was right in the air. Or in the movie, right in the TV show, it was Katara Sokka's like, you are not getting me on that bison. And Gilligan cut. But he's on the bison and he's screaming. I'm like, yeah.
You're screaming.
Yeah, I'm like,
it's shorthand for comedy.
Alex, don't forget the Gilligan cut is something that almost everything does.
I know, I like it. I like Gilligan's Island. Gilligan's Island was one of my favorite shows as a kid. But
Gilligan's Island had better writing.
well, Gilligan's Island was also like absurd. So you can get away
and
get away with stuff.
CinemaSins ended up criticizing a Gilligan cut in Kong Skull Island when that one guy was saying like, you are not getting me on one of those helicopters, and then he's like, and then he gets on, and he's about to get on the helicopter, and CinemaSins like, why does anyone even why do we even bother with this?
Bruh.
Because people still find Gilligan cuts to be funny.
Yeah, I was gonna say, hey, unlike CinemaSins.
That's the whole point.
We're parody. Fuck you.
So yeah, it's like there were some bits that were kind of funny, but the thing is like it's only kind of funny. It's not, really funny, if you get my meaning.
Yeah.
So yeah, Aang gets shot down as he's trying to use his glider to escape. And
oh yeah,
and he's
isn't he also like flying unassisted at points in this show?
Yeah, that. I'm like, that's not how airbending works, guys. You're supposed with airbending, you are supposed to, bend the air.
Mm-hmm. Reminds me of Rey from Star Wars about how she could just kind of fly out of nowhere in that one scene, and then it was never brought up again.
The thing is airbending can be used in such a way. But the issue is that I'm trying to. But the issue is like not really to the extent that the live action show demonstrates. Like he looks to be. It would look like he's almost falling, but using the air to kind of like.
This isn't flying, it's falling with style.
Down. Yeah, something like that, pretty much. And that's more of what's going on. He's not really flying, he's just kind of, redirecting himself.
The Jedi could do that back in Star Wars, but that wasn't, like, you couldn't just fly, you couldn't just hover,
Yeah. And it's like Aang claims that he likes to have fun and whatnot. He likes to goof off with his friends and all that, but immediately after,
yeah, that's a little bit on the nose. That's just something that
no. Immediately after finding Monkey Atsu's corpse and whatnot, he just decides, I'm gonna take up that responsibility shindig after all. Well, and I'm like,
okay. We could have solved a whole lot of problems if you'd have just done this a couple minutes ago.
No. Well, the thing is like, the reason he goes to Kyoshi Island isn't because of anything thing that is tangentially related to ooh, him being the Avatar and whatnot. Because it's kind of because it was more of a coincidence that Kyoshi that Kyoshi Island and was connected to the Avatar, or in any conceivable way.
Mm.
Hey, the thing is that the reason why Aang even went there in the first place was just so that he can goof off and ride on elephant koi, which are gigantic fish. Like, I'm not joking about that.
Yeah, we get it. Yeah.
No, I remember what they were.
Yeah. And it's there that Sokka ends up learning about the efforts of women and whatnot. He even dresses up like one of the Kyoshi warriors when he trains with them. As a way of showing that he has learned respect from them.
And what about his...
And
how is he... Hang on. So, he learns... Does he learn anything in the live-action show so far?
I haven't gotten past, really, the second episode. I will get back to you when and if I continue to do that. Because I'm also watching Ninja Slayer from animation at the behest of my coworker. Who recommended it to me.
That show is fucking insane.
Yeah, it's Psychon. Yeah, it's Psychon. Yeah, it's Psychon.
So for those who don't know, Ninja Slayer from animation is an ONA of a comic in Japan and written by Americans, and where it's essentially the story of a salaryman who wants to get revenge on ninjas for killing his family, and at one point he ends up coming across a woman who happens to be a journalist, but at the same time dresses in such a provocative way that I'm just like, oh boy, I think I know how to get Gizmo to watch this show. Trust me, Gizmo, you would love Nancy.
Hang on, I'm gonna pull up Twitter real quick, because I had some news topics I wanted to talk about, but Gizmo, now that we're at a pause, so to speak, for the Last Airbender show, go ahead and bring us up a news topic. Because I remember one of the news topics was going to be that Tifa's giant boobs appear in the Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2 footage that we've seen.
Yes,
which is
and
nice.
no. Yes,
By the way, the game comes out on February 29th.
Cool. I haven't ordered it yet, because I'm probably just gonna wait until they put out like a collection of all three.
You motherfucker. Oh my god.
Let's see here.
Okay, let me just...
there we go.
So yes and no, though. So what it is that, yeah, some tits have been shown, thank God, because that means that they actually care. But at the same time, there's some footage that someone has found that they swapped. So what it is that when you see Tifa in her first costume, her cowboy getup, that's actually swapped footage from the PSP footage, I believe. And it prevents her cleavage from being shown, which gets a lot of people thinking, yeah, okay, they're not really back on track if they're going to be censoring something.
Well, that's from Final Fantasy VII in Remake for the PC. That was just patched in.
That was just patched in, yeah. Still, it's newsworthy because they literally just patched it in. I still don't
No,
get
I mean,
this.
it's like, yeah, they literally just patched it in, and it's a little bit bizarre that you do something like that. Just put a black bra on her cowboy outfit for no reason.
Oh, why is that such a big deal? I thought it wasn't a big deal. No, well, it's not, but the fact that you're covering it up shows me that you think it's a big deal as well. Fuck you. I'm not a child. Okay, speaking of censorship, how many of you have been playing Persona 3 for a while?
Never played it.
I haven't, and I have
Persona
played.
3. I'm going somewhere with this.
Is it for reload? I presume.
Yes, it's for reload. I will throw you. Persona 3 Reload has the Busty Yukari mod removed from Game Banana as well as other places.
Oh yeah, I remember Game Banana was created as this, it was supposed to be like a censorship-free alternative to Nexus mods, and then Nexus and Game Banana wound up being, like, basically the same thing after a while.
Yeah, it's really odd.
God damn it, Sonic.
The-
We just
Fun.
paused
Ben-
from the
Here's
last Airbender.
Ben said,
and-
funny fact, it took 8 gigabytes to patch out the tits, it took 200 megabytes to mod it back in, LMAO. Jesus
Yeah.
Christ. What else was in that 8 gigabyte patch, I want to know?
Here's what else is funny. Game Banana has other mods you can put in, such as Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, for example. You're able to add in a character called Yukari and play... Not Yukari, what was her name? Risei. You're able to use Risei from Persona 4 and replace Daisy with the Risei model. I mentioned this because with the Risei model, you get her school outfits, but you also get her bikini outfit for Persona 4. So they're okay with it as long as you don't enhance the assets. It gets confusing because, okay, you remove the Yukari bust mod. Fine, whatever. And then I'm hearing, like, you're keeping a mod that's similar to this? She's in a swimsuit. They're just making Yukari bustier. What's the difference? If anything, it would make more sense if they got rid of the bikini mod rather than the busty mod.
There is a mod on Game Banana that allows you to adjust the size of Rouge the Bat's boobs, by the way.
Oh my god.
Right, so like if you're able to adjust tits and you're able to show tits, why is it such a big deal that you have to remove a mod
And to
that...
increase the jiggle physics if you want.
Yeah, so why is this a big deal? Not into like, oh, why is this a big deal? You know, you can look at tits somewhere else, but like, why is this a big deal? You have to remove it. This is like an endless cycle. It's like how Game Banana removed the United States flag mod, where they replaced all the gay pride flags.
Oh
with
yeah.
United
Well, here's the thing. That was in localization options. You can literally just tick localization options Middle East, I think it was, and boom, you've got it.
Yeah, but they still removed it. It's like
No. I'm just saying that option isn't even a big change. That was in the fucking game already.
That's what I'm saying, though. It's not a big change. You're just replacing one flag with another. They're not. It's not like they're trying to replace the flag with like lynched up gay people. There's just a
or the
flag
Nazi
change.
flag or something.
Or
like
the
that.
Nazi flag. Like, God forbid it's Nazi flag. But either way, if they want to put the Nazi flag, let them. If they want to put the USA
And now we're ready
flag,
for the first dungeon.
But here's the thing. Why are you controlling what people want to have in their games? It's their product. They bought it. They should do whatever they want with it. And you're there saying, no, you don't want that. It's like, yes, they do. Why do you think they put the mod in anyway?
Well, there used to be a thing that people were aware existed, where you could just do whatever the hell you wanted with your own property.
Yeah, it's called physical media.
Yeah.
Jackasses. I'm a grown-ass man. If I want to make a girl busty, I'll make her busty. If I want to fight as Chun-Li nude in a non-tournament area, then I'll play as
Yeah, it
something
was-
new.
And by the way, before we can continue, Sonic, of course, needed to remind us of a certain unflattering angle of the actress who plays Princess Yue in The Last Airbender.
Oh yeah, the penis
So-
hair.
Yep.
We memes have already been created about that.
Yep. Just like how people will continue to say that Robert E.O. Speedwagon is JoJo's best waifu.
Sure. But speaking of games, it's revealed that Ruben Langdon, the voice of Ken Masters from Four and Beyond, I believe, he revealed that he was recast over politics.
Yeah. I remember I read through his Twitter thread about this
Yep.
briefly.
Yeah, this makes it official because he actually says it outright. Yeah, they fired me over politics.
I'm still Dante playing Devil May Cry.
Yeah,
Right,
because
but-
the director for Devil May Cry has a head on his shoulders, and the director for Street
Even
Fighter
if the director for
doesn't.
Devil May Cry, even if the director for Devil May Cry is Hideki Kamiya.
Right, but who's to say someone's going to take over that and then replace the guy for Dante with someone else?
Well, that
This
wouldn't be
thing's
the
like-
first time, but
Yeah, it wouldn't be the first time. That's what I'm saying. And here's a quote from the tweet. Some people wrote Capcom, particularly Ono-san. Oh wait, no, that's the wrong one. Okay, here it is. The Newsweek article came out and was basically taking things that I had said in the interview out of context, or with no context, and just said, Ruben said this about Black Lives Matter and hashtag Me Too, that I'm a right-wing extremist, that I'm a UFO alien believer, crazy nutcase. He then noted that 2 months earlier, Newsweek did a very positive article and interview with him and his coverage of the possibility of extraterrestrial life, which is confusing when compared to their other posts taking comment inside of context. He continues, some people wrote Capcom, particularly the series producer, Yoshinari Ono, he saw it and I guess he lost his shit. He didn't understand the nuances and didn't bother to reach out to me, ask, what the hell's going on? He got super scared and actually called. I remember this very clearly because this was a few days before E3 started. My partner calls me and he goes, Ruben, what the fuck do you do? And I'm like, what do you mean? I didn't do anything. You don't realize how much damage you've done. You just lost us the Street Fighter gig, he said. Because of that Newsweek article, we, the company, Just Cause Productions, that I was no longer a part of, actually lost a multi-million-dollar gig because Ono, in a sense, thought that I was still part of the company, which I wasn't, didn't do any research, any homework, didn't look into it, or even bother to have a conversation. I tried to arrange a meeting so I could sit down with Ono-san and explain what happened, that this was all taken out of context, that this was not the case. It was a hit piece from the Newsweek guy, but Ono-san wouldn't have it. He wouldn't even take a meeting. It was crazy. A few months after that, here it is. Devil May Cry director Hideki Itsuno calls up and says, hey, Ruben, can you come back to Japan and do a mocap? We're going to do a special edition of Devil May Cry 5. So I went back. I asked Itsuno-san and my partner, too, what's the deal? How come you guys didn't flip out over Ruben's Newsweek article? And they were like, yeah, we looked into it, and it's fine. So the Devil May Cry team looked into it and saw that what a bunch of BS it was. Including Itsuo-san, they did the research. They totally validated that I didn't say anything to offend anybody, or I wasn't whatever Newsweek tried to make me out as the lies, so it was fine. I haven't talked to Itsuo-san lately. As far as I know, our relationship's fine. I haven't been canceled. I haven't been spanked. I'm sure I would have been told otherwise. They've reached out to Capcom for comment. They didn't get anything. And lastly, Langland confirmed he wasn't hired for the Devil May Cry Peak of Combat smartphone game due to budgetary reasons, and his beliefs and comments had nothing to do
these
with it.
stupid fucking mobile games.
Yeah,
And people
so
wonder why I hate mobile games.
it shows that even the Japanese are affected by this because while the U.S. are outright believe everything.
No,
Japan
no, 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 no.
while the
Master
US
Hand,
will believe,
no.
while the US okay.
Oh, that's not Master Hand, Alec. That's a Floor
That's a-
Master.
That's a Wall Master, yeah. Or a Floor Master, or something. Dang, I don't want to grill off today.
Anyway,
So
continue,
while,
Gizmo.
while companies in the US will outright believe it, Japan will be outright fearful of it. Because you know how the guys are in the US. The moment they see an article title, they'll outright believe it. He's a right-wing extremist. The title says so. The guys that said so. Japan, on the other hand, it looks like they operate differently. It's like, oh shit, what does this mean? What the hell's going on? You know, what do you mean you said this and that and you believe this and that? They're asking questions, but I feel like they're not asking enough. It's like they'll ask the key ones, but just they will not, ask any more than that. So I get why he's afraid. It's just I think he should have calmed down for a bit so they could get things straight, and so he could keep doing his job as a voice actor.
Voice actor and
Right.
mocap actor. Don't forget.
Yeah, but come on, like this is really weird. Like,
Oh,
goddamn.
yeah, no, that was fucking strange. Like, but that's also a case of like one arm of the company isn't paying attention to what the other arm is doing. I did it again.
The other what is this body part called?
It's attached to the hand.
Yeah, it's like people will cancel, and people have brought out the fact that this is kind of like how it is with Vic Mignogna's situation. It's like people will misunderstand certain things, and they will say the most outrageous bull crap about another person. And I'm like, yeah. So.
Okay then.
Okay, going up, going around, going down.
So the beholder is
back, up, around, to the right, up, up, up. Get the key. Get out the door.
So the Beholder series is getting a spin-off called Beholder Conductor.
You're one of those bosses that Nintendo doesn't like to remember.
But other than that, Disney Epic Mickey is getting a remaster of sorts on the Switch.
And it looks pretty fucking good, too.
I can only assume that they fixed the camera issues, because that's one of the main things people complained about.
Yeah, I'd hope so.
Makes me wonder, will there be a paintbrush? Will there be a paintbrush mod for
Hang
for
on,
the
I gotta go back in. I gotta go back in here. I forgot to get the bow.
It makes me wonder if they're gonna hit Epic Mickey 2 as well, though, because that did shit. That did not do well on Wii U, but it did well on other consoles. And it
Yes, I distinctly remember playing the Xbox 360 version once upon a time.
And it had good frame. It didn't have. It was very slow down and buggish from what I remember on Wii U, and everywhere else was like fine. And and it had 2-player co-op. That I'm pretty sure they might want to bring that back too. Okay, Super Monkey Ball Banana Rumble has been announced.
Okay. What were you expecting more of a reaction out of me?
No, I was expecting a reaction to everyone else. You can suck monkey balls.
I mean, that's cool. It's just, Oh, there's the key.
For those who don't know, Super Monkey Ball is a series that debuted on the GameCube. It started off with Super Monkey Ball, then 2, then Adventure,
then F-Zero, F-Zero GX.
You're funny.
I'm not even kidding. F-Zero GX runs on the Super Monkey Ball engine.
Does it?
Yes.
Huh. Didn't know that. The more you know.
G.I. Joe.
And World of Goo is getting a sequel.
And here we see the viewing angle that would inspire Zelda 2: The Adventure of Link.
That got no reaction. Contra is getting another game, and it's called Contra Operation Galuga. It's 4-player co-op instead of the usual 2-player co-op, which is nice. Looks
Yeah,
to be
that sounds nice.
looks like it's a mixture of 2D and 3D. Maybe that's just me. It's got Bill Reiser and Lance Mead. It also has a Probotector and a fresh new character from what I believe, as well as one of the female characters that's unlockable in 4. And either that or she was in another Contra game I don't know about. This gives me hope because it's Contra, and there's a lot of other games Konami's outright fucking ignoring.
Yeah.
So if this does well enough, we might get a proper Contra collection, or we'll get more Konami games. Because Konami, oh boy, man, Konami, you've been
Konami
Where's
Konami has
where's
gone
that
down
second?
the sinking ship that SNK was wise to get off.
Yeah. Where's that second volume of the Metal Gear Solid Master Collection, guys?
So that way many people could actually experience how good MGS4 is.
MGS4. I'd also like to get a second crack at Portable Ops.
Portable Ops.
Because that was the only one, aside from MGS1 and Ghost Babel, that was the only game that wasn't included on the original HD collection.
Metal Gear on Game Boy.
Like I said, Ghost Babel.
Metal Gear Solid 2, 3, both 3s, both 2s, Game Boy, Portable Ops, Peace Walker, the MSX games. How are you going to include a Metal Gear collection with none of the MSX games? Kind of odd.
Oh no, they had the MSX games on the HD collection.
Really? I thought it was the NES games.
No, they didn't include the NES games.
Oh, okay, cool. So they put in playable games. I'm still mad that they didn't put in Game Boy. Ironically, no.
Did you ever play, like, MGS3 was the, yeah, you had to go to the MGS3 menu to access Metal Gear 1 and 2.
Why?
Because somebody smart programmed it, although they were smarter than the people who programmed the Master Collection. Because you could at least go back to the fucking menu.
So weird.
Anyways, WWE 2K24, I believe, has announced their roster, their DLC. DLC Pack 1 includes CM Punk, Bubba Ray Dudley, Devon Dudley, and Sandman and Terry Funk.
Wait, Sandman, really? And Terry Funk?
Satellite, yeah.
They're giving ECW representation?
Yes.
Wow, okay, that's unexpected. They usually don't do that.
ECW!
Like, there's a lot of them. Like, okay, not counting Eddie Guerrero or Rob Van Dam, those guys have made a name in ECW, but they also made a name on, WWF, TNA, those kind of guys. So those are out right away. But there are purists in ECW. People don't know that. Tommy Dreamer, Sandman, who else was there? The Dudleys were there for a while before they went to WWF.
Yeah.
Spike Dudley, there was even some matches where they had male on females like beating the shit out of each other, and these were good matches.
So do you want to hear about DLC Pack 2?
Please.
All right. Post Malone.
You lost.
Yeah, that was about the reaction I was expecting. Sensational Sherry, Mosh Thrasher, the Honky Tonk Man.
Okay.
And the Mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart.
Really, Jimmy Hart?
Jimmy Hart. But it's manager it's manager stuff. I don't think he's available as a wrestler. More's the pity.
Yeah, I don't think he was a wrestler.
Apparently, the third DLC pack is going to include a bunch of materials from announcers and commentators and hosts of WWE programming.
Why would you save that as the final DLC? Why
That's not the final DLC pack, but the only character announced for DLC Pack 3 is Pat McAfee so far.
Okay.
Pat McAfee is kind of funny, but I feel like him being the only character you announce for a DLC pack is not great news. Now,
Why
up next
Post
is
Malone?
because he was the music supervisor for the game.
Okay, I mean Lemmy was a music super. Lemmy made most of the music for Triple H. That doesn't mean he
I
should
feel
be
like Lemmy should be a playable character in a WWE game before fucking Post Malone. But then again, Fred Durst had a clause in his contract where he had to be a playable character in every video game that his music was featured in. So I understand it.
Fred Durst is different. He's the goofy, unlockable character that most people find funny.
Yeah, not paid DLC, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, it's like, Post Malone, really?
Yeah.
You're not going to put him in the game as unpaid? I mean, granted, granted, there's other ways you can pay him, bro. Okay, any other DLC packs?
Yes, DLC Pack 4. Jade Cargill, Nia Jax, Michelle McCool, Carlito, Kairi Sane, Lyra Valkyrie, and Dragon Lee. Now, I'm old enough to remember when Michelle McCool was a free character, was part of the base game in WWE 2K.
Carlito, really?
Yeah, SmackDown vs. Raw 2006.
I spit in the face of people who don't want to be cool, Carlito, as DLC. Paid DLC
Apparently.
for that? I don't know, man. As paid DLC, that's stretching it. I'm not saying he's a bad wrestler, or a bad heel for that matter. He's
paid
good.
DLC when CM Punk isn't even in the base game.
Right.
I have my own personal beef with CM Punk that I'm perfectly willing to settle in a wrestling ring if he decides that that's something he wants to do. But
you could get guys like, I don't know, Eugene in there. That would make a bigger impact. People are begging him to come back in WWE.
Yeah.
You know, how about a bunch of character wrestlers? How about a bunch of other Golden Age and Silver Age wrestlers?
I feel like the Shockmaster would be more interesting than some of these guys.
Put him in there. It'd be funny, but it's just so odd. Carlito as paid
Shockmaster, and he falls over every single time they do an entrance for him.
They replace his they replace his voice clips with the growls he makes.
By the way, Gizmo, speaking of wrestling, so
they should replace all of his voice clips with clips from the Clone Wars and from what you call it from Battlefront. Just like the simulations.
Save it for the enemy.
Alex, so you remember how in how when we were watching JoJo Part 1 last night, you were like,
oh yeah, you missed Kevin's. Oh wait, no, you were there for that, weren't you?
No, he wasn't there for my impression of Chris Jericho.
Okay, yeah, so you missed Kevin's spot-on Chris Jericho impression.
Cap.
You think a parasite like you could stand up to a main event warrior like me? You have another thing coming. I have the best hair in the world. Really nice.
It was a lot better last night, but yeah,
I was gonna say I'm not hearing it.
Kevin was like,
"You just made the list.
You just made the list."
Only
you idiot.
Holy shit! It's a manhandler.
I'm the king of the world.
By the way, my impression of Chris Jericho is actually Lanny's impression of Chris Jericho.
It's an
from
impression of
JoJo's
Lanny
Bizarre
Pator's
Adventure.
impression of Chris Jericho, yeah.
Yeah. So
I stumbled on a dungeon I was not prepared for.
So in case you're wondering, Gizmo, what the context of that is the characters Tarkus and Bruford in the abridgment and his characters are based off of Chris Jericho and Big Show.
Well,
Are
it's
the
the
greatest
Big
tag team of the
Show.
16th century,
Got a big
executed
bad
by a
show
ruthless
tonight.
tyrant. Hi, I'm Queen Elizabeth, and you're executed. We wish you all the best in all of your future endeavors in hell.
Yeah,
I'm still not
like
hearing it.
Kevin had like the weird high pitched thing Jericho's voice does when he gets angry. It was like perfect. Like if I was to hire anybody to do like a Chris Jericho impression, and for like if I wanted like Moongoose McQueen to make a comeback, I'd go for Kevin. But yeah.
I'm still not hearing it, man. I'm sorry.
Well, you're not hearing it right now.
Yeah, I probably have to be there. Oh,
Yeah, you would have had to be there.
No fucking fairies.
Shit. Well, speaking of games, Nintendo Switch has gotten a few, and they were all happen to be from Rare.
God damn it.
Yep.
Specifically,
including Killer Instinct.
So specifically, we got Blast Core on N64, RC Pro AM, and Snake Rattle and Roll on NES. And for Super Nintendo, we got Battletoads Battle Maniacs and the Super Nintendo version of Killer Instinct on Super Nintendo.
Fucking love Killer Instinct.
I do too. I gotta say, this is a very odd mix-up. Granted, I love Snake Rattle and Roll, and I definitely love the Super Nintendo version of Killer Instinct. That game doesn't get enough love, but where are the others?
What about Battletoads on
They're probably rolling them out one by one.
Yeah, like there's no Battletoads NES. Well, granted, I think that was Trade West who did that.
Trade West.
That would have been.
Trade West and Rare did Battletoads.
Yeah, okay, so Rare was involved. Oh, yeah, there's no first Battletoads on NES. There's okay, I get. I was gonna say Banjo-Kazooie, I think, are on the N64.
Yeah, only Banjo-Kazooie's on N64,
not Banjo.
Not Banjo-Tooie.
Which is also kind of odd. You got one, but not two. Okay, whatever.
Banjo-Kazooie.
You got the first one at least, because that was the one that people talk about the most. But where's Killer Instinct on N64? Where's Killer Instinct 2? You know, it's like Perfect Dark's there.
You know what I want them to bring to Super Nintendo to Switch Online?
What?
Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts. Make it happen, motherfucker.
No.
Microsoft. Look, as much as I actually don't see it as a horse shit game, it's one of those games where I think it would have done fine if they didn't have the Banjo-Kazooie title on it. Like, I
or if
think
it had been like a spin-off, like Banjo Racing.
Yeah, like maybe we could have done something like Banjo-Kazooie Racing Nuts and Bolts, or Rare Racing, or Rare's Carts and Bolts, or something like that. You know, if it didn't have the Banjo-Kazooie name on it, I think it would have done better. But because people see it as a Banjo-Kazooie game, it is a Banjo-Kazooie game. Banjo-Kazooie are right there on the cover. It did horrible. It did horribly.
And there was that whole joke about them getting old and getting fat and stuff in there, and it just seemed mean-spirited.
Yeah, it really looked mean-spirited. Like, holy shit, dude. You bought the...
We've all seen John Ontron's review of that.
Yeah.
Microsoft.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
You bought
I'll always love you. I can't believe you did this to me. God damn it, I did this to me.
You bought Rare, Microsoft. That was for a good reason, and the only thing you did to us when you bought back Banjo-Kazooie is make him an obese motherfucker. You turned him a cartoon bear into an actual bear. Bitch.
So,
No, but now
DLC
that
Pack 5 includes Diamond Dallas Page, Iron
Okay.
Sheik, Mr. Perfect, Great Muda,
Okay.
and Lex Luger.
Wow, okay, that's a good one. That's a good pack, especially Diamond Dallas Page and Iron Sheik.
Then Ben says, something tells me Square is having a civil war within the studio. Sounds about right. Apparently the 8 gigabytes was not just to replace, but not just to cover up the boobs, but also like balancing fixes. But that's a lot of wasted space.
What?
Apparently, after people complained, Square said, "Oh yeah, we'll change the product without your consent years after the game releases." And it's like, yeah.
Fuck you.
What do I think about the DLC? What's the roster like, Ben? And because I haven't seen that yet, or at least I don't remember it.
The only thing I know about the roster is that they have the 3 faces of Foley, but not McFoley by himself, which makes
That's
no
weird.
sense. Yeah, I always found that weird. I always found that weird because, from what I understand, 2K has like a not a love-hate relationship with McFoley himself, but like a love-hate relationship with his roster. Like they'll add Mankind, but they won't add McFoley. They'll add McFoley, but they won't add his faces. They'll add, Cactus Jack, but they won't add anybody else.
Cactus Jack, but no Mankind, no regular McFoley.
Yeah, no dude. It's really inconsistent when it comes to McFoley himself, because it's either him or one of the 3, if not 2. Very rarely have I seen all 3 faces go in. And even right now, I think one of the couple of 2K games added all 3, but they didn't add McFoley as himself, which I still kind of find odd. Because all 4 are different characters. Mankind is a very childish, sheltered but brutal character. Cactus Jack is a psycho. Dude Love is an ironic character that wants to spread love, and McFoley is McFoley.
Yeah.
So it's kind of odd that you're going to add some, but not all. One, but not the other. The 2K really does some weird shit when it comes to McFoley.
What the hell?
What's even stranger, there are times you can go to create a wrestler, and you can outright create the rest of McFoley's cast. It's like, okay, I can choose to wear Mankind's mask. I can choose a pattern on my boots so I can make Cactus Jack. Why don't you just put in Cactus Jack or Mankind?
And I got the Bloomerang.
I'll even take him as DLC. They really treat him really weirdly. Okay. And under news, a game called Endless Ocean Luminous has been announced for the Nintendo Switch.
Oh, a new Endless Ocean game.
Yeah, I'm surprised by this because literally nobody talked about this game when it came out. And I'm not saying that in a bad way. And like literally, I know nobody that talked about this game.
Hate smoke. Oh, thank you.
Like, for those who don't know, again, Endless Ocean was supposed to be a game where you could traverse the deep and mysterious oceans. I say mysterious because it's still that to this day. And you could find all kinds of sea creatures, whales, fish.
Yeah, Endless Ocean was fucking amazing. And I have Endless Ocean too as well.
And that's the thing, and I find it weird. It's a great game, but nobody has ever talked about it. I didn't buy it for the life of me because I saw no advertisement for it. Nothing. Like, no trailers, no one talking about its launch, no one reviewing it. It was just a game that was there in the Wii Shop channel. But it has a cult following enough that it got a remaster. That's a good thing. But it's just so weird that nobody talked about the game. Why? It's an Eureka game, for God's sake. Like, there's a lot of good Eureka games.
Come on. Charge me.
Gundam Breaker 4 has been announced. You're literally just... This is simple to get. You're literally able to just customize and make your own Gundam and have them fight up and fight against each other with them. You want to make the original Gundam, but with the head of the G Gundam? You can do that. You want to make the Gundam Wing? You want to make something from Gundam Wing, but instead of a scythe, you got dual machine guns? You can do that. You want to make something out of Gundam 00?
Can I make Ava Unit 1?
I'm pretty sure you could if they have the head that looks similar. Or if they make some sort of deal with them, but, we're not going to get that unless you get the Japanese version. This looks cool. I get it. I'd want it. If this is free to play or paid to play, either way, I think this is going to be good. But here's my question. How long until this loses its player base because of some other game?
Is it an online game?
This is going to have online. That much is
Is it an online-only game?
Not as far as I can tell. I know this is going to have online, though. But either way, do you think this is going to... How long do you think until this game loses its steam because of some other game that comes out? I give it 7 months. If they don't give enough content within 7 months, updates, unlockables, a shop...
Mario Magical Boomerang.
I don't think this is going to last 7 months, which is sad for me to say, because there are games that lasted shorter than that.
August like smoke.
2 months, okay.
Yeah, probably.
Well, there is another game that might overshadow it, though. Star Wars Battlefront Classic Collection has been announced.
Yeah, that's pretty fucking cool.
Let me just fix that, because I know it's not a collection. Let me put Classic Duology.
They should include Battlefront 3 in that.
You're funny.
Because we know it was almost done. But then again, you remember what happened the last time we had a Star Wars game that was supposed to have all of the canceled content.
Funny enough, you could actually play the beta online right now of Battlefront 3.
Yes, but we all know what happened last time something happened like that.
Yeah, I know, but this is
Fucking
kind of
Spire.
good. I'd rather play this than whatever those modern-day Battlefront games have. Yet online
Battlefront 2. Battlefront 2 didn't even have... Sorry, Battlefront 1 didn't even have a, fucking... story mode.
Nope.
Battlefront 2 did, but the story mode didn't have an ending.
Because of course not.
They did have some other stuff in here too, which is kind of nice. But let's hope if for any reason they stop working on this game, let's hope they leave the servers up.
And I got another card container, and there is the next piece of the Triforce.
Ninja 5.0 gets a re-release on modern-day platforms, including Switch, PS4, and 5, and Xbox consoles.
Ninja Cop.
Yeah, that's basically what it is. You play as a ninja cop. People, this is actually a game that's been forgotten and overlooked because not many people play it, and the copies are worth more than they're fucking worth. $50, get out of here. For just a cartridge. Xbox is bringing 4 games to the PlayStation and Switch.
Games... Starfield, wasn't it? Wasn't that one of them?
No. They announced that all 4 of these games will be available for PS5 and Switch. Pentiment, Grounded, Hi-Fi Rush, and Sea of Thieves.
Hi-Fi Rush and Sea of Thieves I know. The rest of them I have no clue.
Pentiment, I couldn't tell you what the hell that is, but Grounded, think Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, but open world in the backyard.
Alright. Well, now it's time for the Nazi dungeon.
I think this is pretty cool. Hi-Fi Rush deserves a lot more love than it already got.
Oh yeah, Hi-Fi Rush was a good game.
Sea of Thieves, I can already play that on my PC, but the fact that they're making that one multi-platform, let's hope PS5 can get their heads out. Let's hope the guys at Sony can get their heads out of their ass and make this cross-platform available. Grounded.
Cross-plat is the best thing you can get for stuff like that.
Grounded.
Whenever you get ports, the best thing you get is the expanded player base, unless, of course, they expand that player base into China.
Right. Grounded, on the other hand, is really weird to me, because I would have thought that would be the game they'd want to keep on their consoles. You know, as an exclusive, because people like to joke, oh, Xbox doesn't have exclusives. They do. You're just not paying attention. Now that news of this coming out, as a multi-platform game is coming out, oh, this proves my point. No, it doesn't prove your point. It just proves that you don't look at their fucking catalog. Speaking of, Killer Clowns from Outer Space launches in June.
The video game?
Yes.
I didn't realize that there was a video game coming out based on Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
They made 2 announcements, but they hardly got any traction. Not like Friday the 13th or Texas Chainsaw did. I mean, here's my thing.
Oh, right, there's a Texas Chainsaw game.
Here's my thing on this. I think ever since they stopped working on Friday the 13th, this concept, I love the concept of this. You know, like 1v5 or 10 or whatever the hell.
Yeah, the asymmetrical multiplayer thing. Where you've got a bunch of weak players versus one really strong one.
I love the concept of that, but here's the thing. I think they lost their head the moment they stopped working on Friday the 13th by force. Because, let's face it, they should have kept going, and they should have made a deal with the rightful owner of Friday the 13th.
Oh, yes, obviously.
Because, dude, we were robbed of the opportunity to play as and against Jason X. And there was so much opportunity.
Dude, a fucking spaceship level would have been amazing.
They canceled plans for a game mode where everyone plays as the counselor, and you have to figure out which one is in the killer. Like 3
Among Us?
No, well, I guess you
kind
could
of.
say that. It's a lot more complicated.
Werewolf.
Yeah, sort of like that. But Friday the 13th themed. I think that would have been cool. They lost all opportunities to get rid of more bugs and more glitches. They lost all opportunities to add in other stuff from other Friday the 13th media too. Like, how cool would it have been if, say, there was like a clawed hand in one of the stages? That's a reference to Freddy versus Jason. Maybe there's like a double barrel shotgun that's broken apart right beside the Book of the Dead. That's a reference to like Freddy versus Jason versus Ash. You know, that stuff, little stuff like that they could have done too, but because of how forceful it felt, the cancellation of Friday the 13th, everything, they were just now trying to look for everything else, see what else they could do with other properties. Texas Chainsaw works, but there's not enough there. Not compared to Friday the 13th, which had a longer legacy. A bigger legacy. It's to the point where it had video games for kids, for all people, and even comic books and TV shows. Killer Clowns, there's only the movie. I don't think he even had a comic book.
I believe there was a Killer Clowns too, but I'm not really sure.
No, I don't think they did, no.
They might have just announced a Killer Clowns 2, and then it hadn't actually come out.
I would have believed so if they either announced or if there was, but I have not seen a sign of Killer Clowns 2. And that's also the other thing. There are a lot of these properties they're trying to tackle just don't have enough long-lasting staying power as Friday the 13th did. Because
okay, yep. So, Return of the Killer Clowns from Outer Space in 3D was announced in 2012. Apparently the Sci-Fi Channel has been attempting to make a TV show out of it.
Oh, cool.
Oh,
like, what, 5
so
episodes?
according to, apparently, Killer Clowns from Outer Space in 3D was filmed and finished and was in post-production, intended to be released in 2013.
Okay.
That film has not been released.
What the fuck? So it got the Wile E. Coyote versus Acme treatment.
Not quite. Although, that is a, because there's just been no news. Although, apparently, Wile E. Coyote versus Acme has, made quite a bit of news, funny enough.
Why did you say that?
Well, because somebody has gotten hold of a copy of the film. An unwatermarked copy of the film. And they are threatening to release it in the event that Warner Brothers goes through with the actual deletion of the film.
Dude, release it at this point. Warner Brothers have been playing full. Warner Brothers has been making multiple trips to the Short Plus as of the recent years. From Ruby's development to the fucking cancellations of multiple games and movies to the release of multiple games and movies.
Look no further than The Flush and also their awful frame rate.
Suicide Squad, the death of Kevin Conroy's Batman.
Yeah. Look no further than their DVD menus was what I was going to say, because they haven't changed in 20 years. Actually, they haven't changed in 25 years.
That's not a good thing. That's not a good thing. There's a reason why the phrase "don't fix what ain't broken." They're beyond broken. They're beyond broken.
Those menus are the same template, and they've been the same template for 25 years. It's not only boring; it's also irritating.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying though. That at this point, the simple menu is beyond broken. Everyone else has at least tried to do something samey or unique, whether it be music playing in the background, animated features.
The only company I think is worse at it than Warner Brothers would have to be, I'm gonna say Sony, because Sony's 4K menus are a goddamn mess.
Oh, you're talking about like the pop-up menus?
Yeah, like those ones where you can where you have to swivel around through things. Like, go fuck yourself, guys.
I hate that shit. It's so unimaginative. Like, dude, I got a Jane Silent Bob Strike Back on Blu-ray. The movie played right away. I thought there was something wrong with the Blu-ray player. Nope.
Oh yeah, that was also a thing that happened with a bunch of old Warner Select discs back in the day, where they'd have a special features menu, but they didn't have an actual main menu, and the movie would just play.
I don't get that. Why would you just... Okay, yeah, I get it. You want to go to the... It's good for some people who don't care and just want to get to the movie right away. But what about the people who want to look at everything? You know,
what about people who want to set up their options before the movie starts?
Yeah, what about the people who want to go to a specific scene?
Well, you gotta flip through your DVD menu, DVD remote to do that.
So weird, man. And going back to Killer Clowns from Outer Space, the game, I think they have to look harder.
Did you get the sword from the old man on top of the waterfall? Let's see. Yes, I think I did.
I think what they need to do here is look for a bigger series and look harder for a replacement for Friday the 13th. Because, look, I get it. Friday the 13th was your baby. But look for something else. Look for maybe, I don't know, Nightmare on Elm Street. Something similar to how Nightmare on Elm Street has its long legacy. Like Dream Warriors, the remake, the TV show, the comics, for God's sake.
Away and dread the lonely night, but I'm not alone.
I'd say do what Evil Dead the video game did, but that unfortunately bit the dust because I don't know what. God damn, I think that game was released right beside another game that also overshadowed it, and that's a shame because Evil Dead the game got worse treatment than Friday the 13th because that one was for the fans.
Did they actually get the likeness rights for Bruce Campbell?
They got the likeness rights for not just Bruce Campbell, but for every version of Bruce Campbell from the Evil Dead. We won from Evil Dead 2 to Army of Darkness. They even got the rights for the remake cast. They got permission from all the movies at the time, and they still failed. And it's not like the gameplay was bad. It's not like there was a bunch of glitches. This game was just ill-timed. This game was released at a time when there were other games to look forward to. And that was a shame because I wanted that.
That's a matter of release times actually being important for
I
I
still want the game because I'm sure there's someone who tried to mod it for peer-to-peer servers or something like that. Because I'm a huge Evil Dead fan. I'm a huge Evil Dead fan, like to the point where I even went to like an Evil Dead 1, Evil Dead 1 re-showing with like Bruce Campbell Q&A. Like I bought the VHS versions before I even got my hands on the DVD version of the series. Like goddamn. And they lost so much potential. They could have added some stuff from the Evil Dead video games. They could have like added some references from the comic books. They could have had some stuff like maybe they mentioned some canceled project, like, oh, we were going to give them a quad barrel shotgun. Okay, boom, now you can find the quad barrel shotgun as an Easter egg. They could have done so much with Evil Dead, but that shit the bed because there were other games at the time, and from what I understand, it was pretty bare bones.
Uh-huh.
And they even had permission to use Evil Dead from the TV show. You could play as Bruce Campbell from everything, including the remake. Moving on. PlayStation VR 2 is adding PC support this year.
Ah, god damn it.
That's not that bad.
Is it at least the original?
Yeah.
Is original PlayStation VR getting it, or is it just VR 2?
VR 2.
Fuck off. I still haven't upgraded. What can I say? I like my VR 1.
Well, if you guys like MOBAs, there's some news about a MOBA that was in early access but got canceled. This is a weird one. MOBA Reboot Gigantic Rampage Edition has been announced. This was a MOBA that failed back in 2017. It was like a third-person kind of game where it played similar to League of Legends, but it was a different camera perspective. Think of it like Smite, but instead of playing as gods, you play as giants.
Yeah.
It's not all that special from what I remember. The art style is pretty nice, but the fact that they're re-releasing this as an official product, I don't know how to feel about this.
I kind of retired from MOBAs after League.
And now the Nazi dungeon is done.
Prison Architect 2 is
officially
delayed
defeated
until
World War II.
Prison Architect 2 is delayed until May.
I gotta remove all of the red crosses from the game.
My thoughts exactly. Power World has now 25 million players in 1 month.
Awesome.
Good.
And here's some fighting game news. Riot Games fighter Project L is officially named 2XKO.
Oh, yeah, that stupid name. Yeah, I hate the name.
I hate it too. I'm not a fan of that name. They could have just named it League of Fighters or something like that.
Yeah.
Or what about whatever happened to the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen?
Fuck off. No one speaks of that. I throw you.
I'm still gonna call it.
I have that movie.
Nah, for real though, I did kind of like that movie.
I had it on VHS when I was a kid, and I upgraded to DVD recently. Don't
Yeah,
have the Blu-ray
for real
yet.
though, I did kind of like that movie. It's a guilty pleasure.
It's not bad enough that if I was in it, I would stop being in movies. You know.
have their moments, like oh, trouble is coming. I call it sport. Dude, how
No, I'm
badass is
saying
it?
thing is like if I was Sean Connery, I would not have quit doing movies because of League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, and it's not that bad. Although maybe the behind the scenes had more to do with it for him.
Well, no. Behind the scenes, from what I can tell, everything was fine. It's just it was not received well. It didn't have as much action as it should have. There were really surreal moments, like there's an earthquake happening, and the group is literally just standing around talking for like a straight up like minute or two before they do anything, instead of fucking running.
Oh, so it'd fit right in with modern day Hollywood then.
Eh. No, but for real, it had some weird
I'm
moments.
aware it had some weird stuff in it. I don't like the idea of Special Agent Tom Sawyer.
Yeah, it was basically going to be like a Justice League, but for like literary characters.
Yeah.
Tom Sawyer, Captain Nemo, Mr. Hyde, the Invisible Man. That would have been cool. Like, imagine.
I actually liked how they justified the Invisible Man and being around, even though he died at the end of the original story. It's like, this is a guy who stole the original formula, and now he's kind of regretting it, but, oh, fuck it, he's gonna be a superhero anyways. That kind of thing.
Really? That was it? I thought he just recovered quickly from his injuries.
Oh, no. Oh, they're in the movie, he literally says that he stole the original Invisible Man's formula.
So what happened to the original Invisible Man, then?
He died at the end of the original book, remember?
Right, but not at the... Oh, so what you're saying is that the character in the movie...
The Invisible Man movie has nothing to do with the book.
No. What I'm trying to get at is that the Invisible Man in the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen is the guy who stole the potion?
Yes.
Okay, I get it now. That makes sense.
Kind of like how there are multiple versions of the Flash because nobody can figure out what to do with that stupid fucking formula.
Which version?
Yes.
Speaking of things that don't make sense, Google AI chatbot Gemini is hilarious and creates wildly inaccurate historical shit. Like someone put in founding fathers in 1789, and half if not all of the cast is either indigenous or just outright black.
Well, it's also one of the I have the raft, guys. I have the raft, right?
Someone put in create an image of the Pope, and it shows two pictures. One is an outright black guy in a Pope's outfit, and another one is an outright just Indian woman in a Pope's outfit. That's wrong. Those are both wrong in so many ways.
Guess I need the latter, even though a raft would logically be just as useful here.
Oh, so you don't like it? And it's not that I don't like it. It's factually wrong. The Pope is not black.
It also... The weird thing is that it'd say stuff like, I can't generate white people, well, because that could potentially be, that could be racially insensitive, and then you could generate, like, black people eating watermelon, and then it'd be incredibly stereotypical. Well, and I'm wondering, like, somehow the robot managed to loop around from being not racist to being even more racist. Yeah.
Someone live put in, can you show me Sweden people? And when it said, okay, here's some Sweden people, it gave him like multiple pictures of a black couple. And it's like, okay, I get that there can be people that are black.
Here's the thing. This is why we don't rely on stuff like that. That for, we don't rely on a machine-generated representation and for like facts. You don't rely on a machine-generated thing for for like customization options, because there are no customization options for Google Infinity or whatever the hell it was, and and then then you have stuff like Stable Diffusion and whatnot. You can train it to do whatever the fuck you want. You want to generate, hey, I don't know. Well, if you want to generate Sonic the Hedgehog as like king of Mesopotamia, you know, oh, you can do that. And there's no restrictions on what something that you make can do. Like, if you want to have Alexander the Great as, like, fuck it, like Arnold Schwarzenegger, you can do that.
No, but
Well,
you know what I'm saying, right? Like, if you want to type in, hey, show me Alexander the Great, but he's Schwarzenegger, it should give you that. But instead, what they're doing is, show me Alexander the Great. Okay, here's Alexander the Great. It's a black guy with the same outfit. It's like, no, show me Alexander the Great historically accurate. Instead of giving you historically accurate Alexander the Great, it's like, I'm sorry, we cannot do that because it may be seen as insensitive and racist. That's what they're doing.
Yeah. The AI it's stupid. The AI was born dumb, and its creators didn't want to make it better.
You mean work?
Yeah.
Forget better, just make it work.
Well, yes.
Yeah, never quite work.
But, you know, it's one of those things where it shouldn't, like, this is the kind of thing where people should immediately go, oh, capitalism, ho, and go to a competing model that actually does what they want, because competing models that actually do what you want are out there, folks.
Speaking of things that need some fixing, you remember when there's rumors that Xbox are not gonna be doing any physical anything anymore?
Physical media or consoles that support it. I'd hope that they would learn from the PSP Go, because they've sold a lot of physical games.
Well, it turns out they were wrong. Phil Spencer says that physical games are not being abandoned.
Well, that's good.
Here's a quote. We are supportive of physical media, but we don't have a need to drive that disproportionate to customer demand. We ship games physically and digitally. You mean ship physical games and
you ship physical games and then you distribute digital games via your online marketplace.
Yeah, it's weirdly worded, but I think I get what he's saying. We ship games physically and digitally, and we're really just following what the customers are doing. And I think our job in running Xbox is to deliver on the things that a majority of the customers want, and right now a majority of our customers are buying games digitally.
That you should immediately discontinue the Xbox storefront.
Archaic.
You should immediately, Mr. Spencer, you should immediately discontinue the Xbox storefront and only ship games physically, because otherwise you can't justify charging $70 goddamn for a goddamn game
that costs the same physically.
Yeah.
Here's what you should do: take $10 off your physical games. Then maybe we can talk.
You know what? No. Oh, frankly, they need to take $30 off of them, and because that's about the amount that it costs in terms of like production, printing, and shipment.
Have them begin at $10 though. Then if they see how,
I think I've gotten far enough.
Have them begin at $10 first. Then if they see like how, then if they see the good, then they could probably take off more. Maybe even down to the point where it's $40 off. He continues, gaming consoles themselves have kind of become the last consumer electronic device that has a drive. And this is a real issue.
Yeah, I'm fucking sick of that too. Because if I want to install a UHD drive in my desktop computer, I'm going to have to get basically a whole new tower to put it in.
Really? Because when I built my PC, I was able to put in a Blu-ray drive.
I didn't build my PC. I couldn't find a 3080 here. I couldn't find any 3000 series GPU. Granted, I don't have a 3080. I have a 3060 Ti, but you know, I couldn't find a 3000 series GPU at the time, so I just went with an Asus because Asus made my laptop and they were pretty goddamn good.
Doesn't Asus have weird customer support though?
I mean, they didn't have any issues as far as I could tell.
I'm thinking of MSI. He continues.
MSI definitely has weird customer support.
Yeah, he continues. And this is a real issue, just in terms of the number of manufacturers that are actually building drives and the costs associated with those. And when you think about COGS and that we're going to go put in a console, and as you have, wait, what? And when you think about COGS that we're going to go put in a console, and as you have fewer suppliers and fewer buyers, the cost of the drives does have an impact. I will say our strategy does not hinge on people moving all digital and getting rid of physical. That's not a strategic thing for us.
Have to feel the like, be the like.
I don't
forget
want to. I don't want to feel these likes.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Sit in the corner.
They're going to steal my shield and eat it.
Voodoo is now being rebranded to Fandango at Home.
Oh, fuck off. I didn't know that, but fuck off regardless. I thought the Fandango thing got discontinued.
No, apparently not. Fandango is still a thing in pop culture, if you believe it or not, because of the commercials they had. I mean, it was to the point where even Robot Chicken parodied it. Moving on. The new Denpamen RPG is going to be free.
Okay.
For those who don't know, the Denpamen is a RPG, a game series that was exclusive to the 3DS line of digital games. They all have to do with you capturing new Denpamen, similar to Pokemon, except you don't catch them in a ball, you just recruit them. This one just so happens.
So SMT style.
Yeah, similar. Zombie Army VR has been announced, and it's going to be sometime later in 2024 for Steam VR, PlayStation VR 2, and Quest 2 and 3, as well as Pro.
Okay, so hang on.
Or you know,
oh, I can push the thing.
Okay. Mortal Kombat 1 DLC. Character Peacemaker launches this month.
John Cena.
Lame.
I saw gameplay. Not a fan.
Yeah, he looks a bit off.
It's another one of those bare bones characters, and someone said that he's relying too much on him being a cameo, if anything. Well, granted, you do get.
On top of that, his animations are really lacking. I think especially in that one gun pose. It's like we're back to the old days of NetherRealm not understanding how gun poses work. So
Capcom, are you in the NetherRealm Studios right now? Because I think we've seen some reused animations.
Capcom doesn't really get that kind of flack though, because
those are in the 2D days.
No, Capcom does not get that kind of flack because at least they try with their poses. Each and every pose you see on.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about how they used to reuse sprites.
Yeah, he's talking about the 2D.
That's different though, because at least they make changes to their sprites, similar to how.
Have you seen Morgan?
Morrigan.
We need to bring up the.
Anywho,
are we talking about Capcom as a whole, or are we just talking about Darkstalkers?
No, we're just talking about Capcom in the past.
Oh, Capcom versus SNK and stuff like that.
Yeah, we all know the jokes and the roasting we can all dish out right now when it comes to Darkstalkers. Everyone has said it at this point. But what I'm talking about is Capcom as a whole. Darkstalkers has already been roasted enough with seeing the same Morgan sprite in every Versus game, in every crossover game. What I'm talking about is the sprites themselves. Ryu, Ken, Akuma, Sakura, they've all had their swaps, but they eventually have stuff put in to make them unique enough. Here,
No,
what I'm seeing here is different. This is 3D realms. This is 3D. They could have done something with the John Cena sprite. They could have done not sprite. They could have done something.
They should have made John Cena into a sprite.
They could have done something here with the Peacemaker character. They could have done more.
Yeah, for as much as I don't like Peacemaker's personality in the show that he's in, and the movie, and everything.
And then there's also the shotgun underneath the groin.
What is wrong with that? It's funny.
Yeah, I'm
Not
just saying,
really.
it's like for the most part, you know, for as much as I don't like his personality, he had a personality. And for the most part, they didn't capture that personality, except for the weird gun under the groin thing.
They captured his personality from the show. If anything, from
the show.
from the revamped version of Peacemaker. And you have to keep in mind a lot.
That's what I said.
Yeah,
They didn't even capture his personality from that well.
They kind of did.
They did, yeah. They kind
Like,
of did.
it's the one, it's the gun under the crotch thing is just about it. And like him, like him just holding the gun square is just kind of weird. Like that, you know, we're talking about the infamous pose everybody's seen on Twitter. You know.
I think that is on brand though. That is on brand with Peacemaker, considering he actually did that.
But,
yeah, he did.
But no, but like his actual pose when he holds that gun doesn't look anything like that.
It's a game. It's going to look weird, especially since we're using a 3D model. There's going to be some setbacks. There's going to be some weird things, like how we see long hair clipping through shit, or how like
it's just not correct though.
Do I need to bring up Katana's crouching kick?
Don't.
Well, no, I'd rather not, because with Katana's crouching kick, they didn't have to do it like that. They could have done something like they could have done something like how Street Fighter does it with the sliding kick they always have with the character. This one just looks goofy because they're trying to be a little more realistic in terms of looks, and that I don't see anybody doing that, realistic or fantasy, unless there's something going on, like let's say, I don't know, there's a spike on the heel, or maybe there's magic coating the foot. No, it's just her just raising her leg up a bit.
I mean, to be fair, Peacemaker, you can't really do much. He's just the guy with the helmet, so I don't expect too much.
Stuff. You could have him like call out Vigilante. You could have. I
mean, he does bring out the eagle, so.
Oh yeah, he has Eagly, but like that's it. But like they could have had like Vigilante come in. They could have had like more of his helmets. They could have done more than just him punching and kicking. They could have referenced his wrestling career. I don't see the problem with these guys referencing their wrestling careers. Batista outright refused to do it in the movies that he's been in when it came to.
I can see that.
Well, John Cena has too, because like I think he saw the reception The Rock got when he used some of his wrestling moves in some of his movies, and he just said, "No, I'm not doing that."
Yeah, but he's got an ego. You got to understand that. He's got an ego. So if he's not doing it, then that's probably because it has to do with something regarding his
No, I'm talking about Cena.
No. When I'm talking about The Rock, when it came to him refusing to do the rock bottom.
No, the Rock did the rock bottom.
Yeah, and how many more times has he done it since?
He's done it in the rundown, and it was not received especially well.
Yeah, 2 movies. John Cena, on the other hand, I can see him doing his every move, from "you can't see me."
Well, considering it's a fighting game, I can honestly say that they probably ought to have.
Right, but there's also this is a goofy character, or like a goofy upgraded version of the character, because you know the whole conversation we had about revamping old stock characters. This is a version of a character that should have done more than just punching and kicking and like the hold and grabs. Like you summon Eagly. This is not even like a super powered eagle. This is just an eagle that understands your every whim and need. You're summoning an eagle like you're like something out of Samurai Showdown. Hey, Poppy, go, Poppy. Hey, Eagly, 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 dude. This is something out of Samurai Showdown. You're summoning
that
an eagle.
requires that would also require NetherRealm Studios to have some level of creativity and knowledge within the realm of fighting games, and they don't even like their own history.
They do. It's just that for some reason they think that realism sells. No, that's not the only main thing. You realize you could hire a bunch of martial artists that know what they're doing to.
Oh, like they did back in the day.
Yeah. Here, on the other hand, did you even get John Cena to mocap his moves? Because it doesn't look like it.
I mean, they didn't get. Have they found out who did the voice for Homelander?
No, I don't think
again
so.
the actor.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was like someone like a Troy Baker or like a fucking.
God, that'd be fucking weird.
Yeah, like, if it was something like Troy Baker or Steve Bloom, I wouldn't be surprised in the least.
I would not be able to get over hearing Steve Bloom as Wolverine if he was trying to do Homelander.
Steve Bloom has been Wolverine multiple times. What I'm saying is that if they get like a voice actor that has been in a lot of voice acting gigs, I wouldn't be surprised.
There should be another key in this dungeon, guys. Where's my key, guys?
At least they gave him a pretty decent fatality.
Yeah, well,
The fatality works. Like they gave him a jetpack, which is kind of funny because they like in the show they refused to give him a jetpack, and the jetpack is so powerful you could literally like tear a guy in half.
yeah.
He tears the guy down, and then he goes all activate sonic boom. If you see the show, you know how powerful that sonic boom is.
Yeah.
I love that. But beyond that, I'm a little afraid of what else they might do. Like, what's the second fatality going to be like?
I mean, maybe it's gonna be. I mean, I have to remember the show to see what to be referenced.
I hope it's not a headbutt, like a series of headbutts, because that fit more with Kano.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they're gonna do that.
No, like I get. Well, in terms of fatalities, it makes sense because of the helmet he's got. But in terms of personality, no, I don't see him doing that.
Also, I guess female Johnny Cage is here. I guess.
Yeah.
But nobody can put that in.
Well, more gaming news. High on Life is getting a physical release.
Neat.
What life?
High on Life is getting a physical release, and thanks to limited run games,
Lame. You're talking about...
It's going to be released on February 27th, thanks to them, and pre-orders start March 31st.
Oh, you're talking about that first-person shooter game.
Yeah, the one where people dub Rick and Morty the game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, pre-orders start February 27th, and they will be released March 31st, I think. More gaming news. Dead by Daylight announces the collaboration with Iron Maiden.
Oh yeah, I heard about.
I presume that means that they're getting Eddie the Head.
And it doesn't
Iron
look like
Maiden.
It doesn't look like they're just stopping at Eddie. It looks like they're getting others. The skins here will feature. Oh wait, no.
Bruce Dickinson, make it happen.
Instead of just Eddie, they're going to also add in Dredge, Doctor, Deathslinger, and Oni.
Okay. They ought to get Vic Rattlehead from Megadeth as well.
And some unfortunate news, Your Name producer arrested on child pornography charges.
Yeah, the producer, not the director. Unfortunately, a lot of people aren't doing the research, because they're posting pictures of the director, not the producer.
Koichiro Ito, a producer whose name is attached to works such as Your Name, Suzumi, and The Garden of Words, has been arrested due to having nude images of a 15-year-old girl.
Can't wait for people to try and use that as a sledgehammer against the anime community.
Oh boy.
Even though Your Name has in no way pornographic whatsoever.
I can already hear the Claymore going all, hey, what'd I tell you? Bastard.
Absolutely fucking nothing. Shut up.
Back to good gaming news. Tekken 8 has now sold 2 million copies
Cool.
Damn.
ever since release.
That's good.
Pixelated open world fishing JRPG Sea Fantasy has been announced.
Oh, thank fucking God, there's a key for sale.
Supermassive Games is laying off a third of their staff.
Lame.
This is the same
I guess
company behind.
They got 2 Supermassive.
This is the same company behind the Dark Pictures anthology and Little Nightmares 3.
Oh, fuck them then.
Why? What's wrong with those games? I don't know anything about them.
Okay, so Dark Pictures Man of Medan is terrible. Like, legitimately, it is one of the worst games I have ever had the misfortune of not playing, but watching somebody else play.
So they made bad games.
Yeah, they made bad games.
Okay,
not-
so like more than just like a couple.
Yeah, they're not really worth eulogizing, you know?
Might want to be specific on those games because all I know.
Oh, Dark Pictures Anthology is just a lame-ass fucking series of games, and the Man of Medan one is one of the games in that series, and it was...
Oh, so those games are bad.
good.
Okay, I didn't know about
Yeah.
that.
Oh look, I get, and
I don't want anybody to lose
like,
their job. It's just, you know, those games
I have
sucked. So
Speaking of,
Sadly, I wanted to go through the rest of the 100 trials, but I was apparently ill prepared because I didn't have enough Jelly Ultras.
ooh,
Oh boy.
underground.
speaking
Going underground.
speaking of sad game news, Helldivers 2. Anyone know about that game?
Yes.
No.
Okay, so for those who don't know, Helldivers 2 is basically another think Starship Troopers, except more satirical and a bigger online fan base. Well, not
Cool.
fan base, bigger
Yeah,
online multiplayer.
I've seen some really cool shit out of Helldivers too.
From what I'm getting, it's sort of they even take some cues from Starship Troopers, mostly the first movie.
Yeah.
Instead of celebrating fascism, though, it's more a satirical look at democracy.
So, like Starship Troopers, then?
Well, no, Starship Troopers tackled fascism. This one tackles
No, Starship Troopers didn't tackle fascism. Starship Troopers was a movie about just basically an alternative form of democratic process.
From what
Paul Verhoeven did not read Starship Troopers. He did not understand Starship Troopers. He took people and put them in Nazi uniforms that were left over from a different production, and because he thought Starship Troopers was about fascism and about glorifying fascism. That's not true.
Isn't the country
I've read Starship Troopers.
But what about the stuff? Well, what about the stuff like having a speedy court system?
I mean, and that we can talk about that all day long. It's not really fascist to have a speedy court system, and they also had people who were incompetent and stripped of their positions.
Okay, well, we could talk about that some other time. But
yeah,
what I'm trying to say is that Helldivers 2 is a game that's basically tries to mimic Starship Troopers in a lot of ways. From like the over-exaggeration in like their views on politics. You know, sort of like how a lot of people, like, you know, democracy, fascism, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But you know, but here's the thing. Apparently, people don't know that this is satire.
Oh, no, see, what I've been seeing is a lot of like, cringy leftists online and taking jokes that people have made about Helldivers seriously.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The people for some reason think that the people that are LARPing, that are quoting the game, that are
Yeah, it's
joking
like
about the game,
it's like how the
they
people
think that
who say, "Hey, Warhammer has a fascism problem." It's like because
no,
people roleplay as the factions, and in there. Yeah,
it's not
okay.
a problem. It's just how from what I understand, the
It's
entire
part of the
game is
game.
about how everybody is a piece of shit, and and there's nothing you can do about it. It's not the Warhammer is not a game about like who's the lesser of all evils. It's just
Not to
about
mention that in in Starship Troopers and in Helldivers, there's one of the big things is that the bugs are gonna fucking kill you,
and I say kill them all. But yeah, people are legitimately thinking that nothing is satire. And it doesn't help that there's an actual Helldivers Twitter called Helldivers Alerts who are against fascism.
Yeah.
Okay. You realize the game is. You realize
a joke,
that,
right?
Yeah, it's a joke.
There's a big joke there.
The joke has flown over their heads.
The joke has flown over their heads faster than a joke flying over Kevin's head.
Hardy har har.
We've Joe. I believe we've joked about this too much.
Yeah, but for real though,
if we do any more, we'll be going on a very strange journey.
To
perhaps
it's a bizarre adventure.
Yes, perhaps even a bizarre or bogus one.
Bogus, or an excellent adventure, depending on how you look at it.
Highly interesting.
For real though, like how does nobody see how does nobody even look at the cutscene that's going around and say, yeah, that's satire? Like there's a guy looking at his family getting mauled by a bug, and the first thing out of his mouth is, "For the love of democracy." You don't see any satire there.
Clearly.
It's like, are these the same kind of people who watch the Cartman time traveling episode?
Oh, God damn it!
And are these the same kind of people who saw the Cartman time traveling episode where he was trying to get a Wii and he sees a soldier cry out, "Oh my science," and sees that as serious?
Well, at any rate, it's like I said, I would want to continue doing the Pit of 100 Trials, but I would be ill prepared to keep going, on top of also having to fight the boss at the end of it.
Oh yeah,
so that would not be a fun time.
I'm going to go heal real
progress I
quick and then come back to the dungeon.
McDonald's is getting an anime.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that.
Studio Puro is making it.
We're announcing the McDonald's anime.
Anywho, I'm just gonna save and be finished with this game.
I love the fact that they're making an anime based off of a knockoff product of a real product.
I believe it's actually just a McDonald's product, and they've got like a McDonald's anime that is separate.
So next Monday on my end, so next month rather, on my end, we're gonna be facing out, holding out, and reaching out to the truth.
Okay.
Persona 4.
Stardew Valley is getting another update after, so long.
Yay. I haven't played Stardew Valley in a long time, so maybe it'll be
I hope you've
reason enough
enjoyed
for me to
Paper
get back.
Mario Thousand Year Door. So until
Meanwhile,
then,
I'm going to be attempting to get this dungeon done.
The update
and
contains the update for Stardew Valley contains a new festival, 2 new mini game during those festivals, new late game content which expands on each of the skill areas, new items and crafting recipes, Joja alternatives to some of the endgame quests, 100 plus new lines of dialogue, winter outfits for the villagers, new types of rewards for completing billboard requests, PC support for 8-player multiplayer, many small additions and adjustments, new farm types, and new secrets, as well as others. The update will be available March 18th for Windows PC.
Not for PS4.
I'm guessing that it's going to be just a console-wide thing.
Oh, I'd hope so.
Soon. SpongeBob SquarePants' speed run for any percentage has been broken.
For what game?
SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom, the original, on GameCube specifically.
Cool.
And the previous record was 42 minutes and 1 second. Now the guy has literally previous record was 41 minutes and 59 seconds. This guy beat it in 42 minutes and 1 second.
Huh. Cool.
He practically beat it in 42 minutes exactly.
Huh. I feel bad for the guy who had the previous record.
Why? It's awesome either way that these guys are able.
I mean, it's awesome either way, but that's like that much.
No, but that's the beauty of it. A lot of these games
that is
are
the beauty.
not
I'm not.
That's
I'm
the beauty of
saying.
all the speed runs. A lot of these games are not meant to be beaten in such short times, but guys manage to find ways.
Hey man, I'm proud for the guy.
More gaming news: Nintendo's Punch-Out is officially 40 years old.
Oh God.
Damn.
Keep in mind, this is a game that started out in the arcades and then went to NES. And then Super Nintendo, and then made a cameo in the GameCube version of Fight Night, and then got a remake on Wii.
There we go.
Hmm.
You can cheese that boss by loading up on health and then getting somewhere he kind of can't hit you.
Indiana Jones using Nazi enemies is a creative lapse, says Fate of Atlantis director. What does that mean exactly?
Excuse me, isn't... Okay, yeah, no, so... No, every single enemy in an indie film up to the time Fate of Atlantis was released was a Nazi.
Temple of Doom. Crystal Skull.
Okay, Fate of Atlantis was out before Crystal Skull.
Okay, but what I'm saying is that Indiana Jones didn't always fight Nazis. He fought the occasional guy outside.
He fought Asian Nazis in Temple of Doom.
He fought cultists.
This is basically the same thing.
No, it's not.
I'm kidding.
One instance I don't agree with.
For fuck's sake.
In one instance, I don't agree with them because Nazis are like an iconic enemy for Indiana Jones, considering the time period.
Yeah.
Like what was it? The first movie, and it was like the first movie he dealt with Nazis as they tried to force him to look for the Ark of the Covenant.
Yep.
And what was it? The third movie he dealt with Nazis trying to look for the Holy Grail. And what some of the future games. Some of the games in the future, like 360, PS2, he dealt with Nazis trying to look for the Staff of Moses, I believe.
So how exactly have we come around on, like, full circle to where saying... And because I remember where it used to be, like, you could just do whatever the hell you wanted with Nazis and it'd be alright. Like, you know, you could have them... you could have them be your villains in your games. You could have them be this, that, and the other thing.
Right.
And now...
Here's the other instance I have to go with, though. On the other instance, there's more than just Nazis that Jones would have to deal with. I mean, Temple of Doom, he dealt with cultists. You know, that's just one example. He has there are enemies outside of Nazis during that time. I'm pretty sure the North Koreans have something to say. Vietnam, considering like the latest movie, because Vietnam were seen as enemies.
Why
at one time.
wasn't Vietnam a
Now,
plot point in that? Outside of Mutt
Vietnam.
dying for no reason.
I'm not going to see. I haven't seen the movie, but granted, despite that, I can't see why people might not want to have Vietnamese as the enemy, because technically we invaded them. We were trying to force whatever the hell onto them. Vietnam had nothing to do with our wars. But granted that, at least it would fit with the time period. There are other enemies outside of Nazis that NB has and could fight, like the cultists, the Russians, the Vietnamese, the Koreans. Which ones? Yes, it doesn't really matter. I can see both sides of the fence of why they would say or be for or against the notion that, you know, Nazis are a tired villain against Jones.
Oh, Alex.
Which one am I against?
And, you know, Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis is an all-time classic game anyways, so why are you apologizing for a great game?
I think what he's saying is that Nazis are overplayed for Indiana Jones, and I've already said both parts of why someone would be for or against this statement. But here's the thing: I'm leaning more for no, it's not, because Indiana Jones is iconic when it comes to Nazi punchers. He as well as the Justice Society, as well as Captain America. There's a lot of characters that just, you know, coincide with like Nazis when it comes to like enemies. You know, Captain America's has got the Red Skull. BJ Blazkowicz. He was known for shooting Nazis. He's still shooting Nazis in like an alternate timeline.
Then the alternate timeline games became bad.
Yeah, we don't count the daughters.
The funny thing was, that wasn't even that bad of a game. It just had really...
It was online only and had cringy, modern, TikTok-ish dialogue.
Yeah, it was the writing that let it down.
On the video. On the part of the video you referred to, it's the part where I said, "You are executed."
But I get why, you know, Indiana Jones can fight other enemies, you know? He can, and it's proven that he could and does. Again, the cultists from Temple of Doom, you know, the Russians and Crystal Skull, you know...
People complained about that, though.
What's that?
People complained that the Russians weren't as good of a villain.
No, but the thing is, it's just proof that he's fought people outside of just Nazis.
Yeah.
You know, for people who complain about like, oh, why doesn't he just fight other people other than Nazis? He has. You know, cultists, the Russians. It's possible that he's even fought the guys from Vietnam as well as Koreans. Which Koreans? Yes.
He's fought Germans from before, Germans from the Kaiserreich.
Right, and like, for all we know, he's going into like a lot of other time traveling shenanigans, as well as other out of country shenanigans too.
All right, I have the ladder now.
You know, for all you know, he's dealt with.
Hey, you forgot that part.
For all you know, he's dealt with.
I herped and I derped and I fucked myself up.
For all you know, Indiana Jones has dealt with cannibals. For all you know, Indiana Jones has dealt with, I don't know, corrupt officials from Africa or Brazil. You know, maybe he's dealt with the cartel. You don't know.
Maybe he's even dealt with Spanish conquistadors attempting to steal the Fountain of Youth.
What about the?
That's a thing already. That the Holy Grail. But I get what you're doing. I get what you're saying. Other folklore, other myths. But that's what I'm saying though, because people have been. I'm sure there have been people who complain. You know, why doesn't he fight other people than Nazis? He has, but the reason why they're sticking to Nazis is because those are his most iconic enemies.
Well, they also because in in Dial of Destiny, it was because as Disney did the thing that Disney does, where they overreacted to the reception that the previous film got.
Yeah, it's not that bad. That movie's not that bad. I don't know why people bitch about it.
What, Dial of Destiny? Or
No, not Dial of Destiny. Crystal Skull.
oh yeah,
When
Crystal
people
Skull.
talk about
Yeah.
Crystal Skull, they're not really putting two and two together. Think of the time period they're in. It makes sense with the Russians as well as like the whole alien conspiracy. You know, like the Crystal Skull thing. You know, what was that? What was that thing? Not Roger. Man, what is the name? Not Sputnik. There was another name for it. Philip? No. There's a name that they're supposed to call it. It escapes me, but you know what I mean, right? Like they called it something.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it fits with the time period. If you want to make Indiana Jones fight someone else, just do it. You know, it's no skin off my back. It makes sense why he would. It just has to make sense. If he's fighting the cartel on his way to find something in Mexico, you know, let him fight people let him fight the cartel. If he's fighting like corrupt government anywhere during a certain time and place, let him fight corrupt government during that time and place. If he's fighting cannibals, like in the jungle, let him fight cannibals in the jungle. As long as it
Welcome
gets
to the jungle. We got fun and games.
If
And
you don't
now
want
I've
to,
got the Master Sword.
if you don't want to,
It
and just
will
want to
beat the game.
I don't see a problem with that.
Oh, Alex, that "you're executed" line is actually an impression of Vince McMahon.
You're executed.
Speaking of execution, it looks like we could have gotten a different Killer Instinct game if they pulled through with their original plan. Killer Instinct 3 would have been a prequel, but instead of grown men and women and robots and werewolves and dinosaurs and so on, we would have been playing as kids.
Huh.
Straight up Virtual Fighter kids, kind of kids.
What's happening to me?
No, I
feel
found
like
Dungeon
insulting
6
local
early.
sports team are mentioning obesity rates.
From what I understand, this would have been a fighting game.
Dungeon is this? Oh. No, I'm where I need to be.
The guy who created Killer Instinct, from what I understand, he wanted to go somewhere along the lines of like a prequel where you would gain moves instead of use the moves outright, similar to another fighting game that escapes my mind. What was it called? Paws of Fury, I think. Because Paws of Fury, instead of having an outright special moves list,
Fucking Wizrobes.
And
the worst enemy in Zelda 1.
Instead of an outright move list you can pull off, you know, down, forward, forward, punch, you know, that kind of thing, back, forward, punch, that kind of thing. You would gain the moves as you play the game, so you would be building up your list of special moves. Then you could use them. That's what it sounds like to me. And it helped that there was someone that made Diddy Kong Racing was going to be on the team. Unfortunately, this was at a time when fighting games were seen as a fad, so unfortunately the plan didn't go through.
That's lame.
I think it would have been interesting, to say the least. But you know what else is interesting? There's now a way to soft hack your Xbox with just the memory card.
Are you talking about like the original Xbox?
The original Xbox.
Huh.
The original.
Although there was a way to soft hack the Xbox originally, anyways. Like
apparently,
that.
What it is.
And I lost my. No, I've still got my magic shield because I killed the like.
From what I understand, all you need is a working Xbox and the legit memory card that came out with the Xbox.
Well, guess I'll need to buy a memory card because I don't have any. I only have modified memory cards. Made from USB sticks.
More
Why
gaming,
are the Alex? Why are those whiz robes throwing their hands in the air like they just don't care?
more gaming
Throw your
news.
hands in the air like you just don't care.
A collector found
Word up.
a collector found a rare Philips CDI Hotel Mario prototype. Guess where he found it?
In a hotel?
In Goodwill. Man, would it have been funny if he found it in a hotel.
Good. Holy shit.
Oh man, it would have been funny.
I've
It would have
found
been-
some unusual stuff at Goodwill, so I can imagine.
Yeah, he found it at a Goodwill. It's so weird the things that people just give and throw away. It was in good.
Yeah.
It was a disc with opening cutscenes, a title, and a different title screen as well.
Aren't you always
And-
happy when people share lost media instead of hoarding it?
I am. Hey, I got a message. Release the beta for the Super Nintendo version of Killer Instinct 2, you cunt.
Good luck with that.
Three
Hey,
new
we got
Atari-
We got a version of Star Fox 2, so...
You might as well. 3 new Atari 2600 games have been found and dumped.
Found. Like, as in they existed, but... hadn't
Yep.
been
They haven't been dumped.
released? Huh.
Games are Cat Tracks, Funky Fish, and Pleiades.
Pleiades?
That game. And they've been successfully dumped. From the sounds of it, they were never released, or they just never had much
Okay.
of
That's
a release.
good. Because I was gonna say, it's like new Atari 2600 game. And it was like, what, is a new Atari 2600 game released? Because that's not unusual these days. Remember back in the day when ROM hacks were, something that people would,
sell illegally.
Oh, I know. I was talking about how, like, you know, like homebrew stuff was stuff that people would get all up in arms about. It was like, oh my god, somebody's making a new Sega Genesis game! Holy shit! It's like all they did is they just bought a fucking flasher and put it on the thing.
Yeah, well, that's not the only console that's getting dumped, because it looks like the ViewMaster Interactive Vision could be the next console outright to be emulated and preserved. For those who don't know, the ViewMaster Interactive Vision is a console that was powered by not cartridges, not cards,
but those little 16mm film strips that you'd put into
VHS
Masters.
tapes.
Oh, VHS tapes.
Outright VHS tapes.
Oh, okay. I was on the complete wrong track.
But it wouldn't play. You could put it in the VCR, but it wouldn't play right, because there's a label that says for use only with ViewMaster Interactive Vision television system. And the joystick was outright weird. It was a big stick with a large circuit, with a large circle on the top, with the joystick popping out, and there would be 2 buttons right beside the joystick, and on the bottom of that were 3 buttons.
Alex, it's I thought it was supposed to be Mehcast episode 86, not 87.
But yeah, this was
Well, it was 86 last time, so...
No, it was 85 last time.
But yeah, this is a...
Oh, whatever, I'll fix it when I re-upload it.
This would technically be the first interactive video game. Not video game, video game. That was powered by a video format, I guess you could say. And Osaka, there's an arcade machine there that has lasted for 61 years.
Nice.
I think this is officially the one that outlasted every one of the other arcades, especially the Sega arcade. And it's been open since 1963. It's so old that they had to resort to creating the parts made for certain arcade systems. Like they had to recreate parts that they needed.
Yeah, that's been a thing for a little
By the
while,
way-
unfortunately.
By the way, Alex, they ended up wasting the voice of Oogway for the Avatar: The Last Airbender live action show.
Oh, he's old, right?
He voices Wan Shi Tong, whom in the show is voiced by Hector Elizondo.
But is he
My
as
mom
old?
was easily able to recognize.
But
somehow.
I have a question though. Is he as old as Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo? Because that game is 30 years old now.
Oh. Oh no. By the way, happy birthday, Kevin, again. Just in case anybody didn't
Late
tune into yesterday's stream.
Happy birthday. How old are you?
30.
Okay, you get 30 slaps to the face then.
Good luck finding a way to do that.
I'll just mail my
You
hand
wish to
over
carry
to
more
you.
bombs? Hell yes.
That's easy. I'll just cut off my hand, put a curse on it, and then just mail it over to you, and it'll just give you 30 slaps across
So
the
you'll
face.
turn one of your hands into Thing from Adam's Family.
Yes, and if not that, it'll turn into Ash's hand. You know what else is old though? Power Stone turns 25 today.
Dang.
You know, the Capcom game that, you know, gets constantly set aside. Some
Sorry.
cool news. The 3DS. Now, we all love the 3DS, right?
3DS turned 13 this year.
It did, but we all love the 3DS, right? The first time there was a lot of firsts. The first actual 3D handheld, the first Super Smash Brothers handheld was on that thing. The first ever console to have a full set of buttons instead of using an outright peripheral to give us a second thumbstick.
Well, it did use a
technically it
peripheral
did.
to give you a stick, but yeah.
Technically it did, but the final upgrade gave us two thumbsticks. No
Yeah.
no other handheld did that.
Vita.
No. Full set of buttons. That
Right, the
means
Vita.
that would include the full set of buttons. That would include both thumbsticks. The Vita, sure, it had two thumbsticks, but it only had two shoulder buttons.
But it also had the touchpad on the back.
The touchpad is not a button; it's a touchpad.
The touchpad button.
It was used the way a
The PS4 had a
buttons would be.
touchpad button. That one was a touchpad and a button. The Vita was just a touchpad. And okay, where am I going with this? I bring up the 3DS because someone has finally found a way to emulate Virtual Boy video games without it giving you headaches on the 3DS.
Nice.
As of now, they were able to hack on Red Alert. For now. But think about it. You're finally able to play Virtual Boy games on a 3DS before Nintendo could officially do something with it. How the fuck is it that hackers are able to think about this stuff before Nintendo?
Life finds a way, Gizmo.
I need to meet in between.
I get it.
Great.
I get it. Virtual Boy was a big wart on their side, but they do realize.
Explain Marvel vs. Capcom. I want to
I think
take you
that's
for a
good,
ride in the
Mo.
back.
Me, ho! But what I'm trying to say is that Virtual Boy, we can all agree it was a shit system with a shit launch, but it had good games. Every bad console has at least have one good game. We can all agree to that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, why is it that they refuse to go back to their failed systems? Like the Virtual Boy. They'll go back to GameCube, right? They'll go to 64, but the Virtual Boy is where they draw the line? I find that weird.
By the way, tomorrow is the upcoming Pokemon Presents, and I'm curious as to what they're going to put out.
Oh, really now?
Low Pony Fleshlight.
Yes.
There.
Oh no.
Huh. God damn
Please,
it.
no.
Guess what I've got, Batman?
I'll tell you what you should say yes to. Someone found a Game & Watch Tetris prototype.
Oh, sweet.
Really.
Man, how do they find this shit?
They just do.
It looks really good, too. Well preserved.
Life finds a way.
To make me vomit.
Stay back, I'm gonna vomit!
Says Vegeta.
Since you're playing Zelda, someone found the holy grail of NES Zelda that's worth $700,000, and it was almost sold for $17,000.
Whoa.
What the fuck?
I'm gonna repeat that. 700,000. It was worth 700,000, and it was almost sold for 17,000.
How did they? What the fuck? What was this?
From what it says here, it's a rare copy of a sealed copy of the original 1987 Legend of Zelda game, and it was almost sold for 17,000, and it was worth 700,000.
700,000 for a sealed copy of one of the most popular games ever made.
Now, keep in mind, you're always seeing these things loose with the manual. You almost never see them with the box complete.
Well, yeah. I'm not dissing it. It's like I'm just saying, like, this is reminding me of that WADA shit.
Right, but I think it's better that we have them decide the price without WADA than with WADA.
Yeah.
Because with WADA, everything is worth millions of dollars, but when it comes to actual collectors and people who care, it's worth thousands.
Worth this many.
Would you rather have a game with a worthless grade and say it's worth millions, or would you rather find it out in the wild and it's actually cost what it's worth, but you can still try and cut a deal?
Well, you know, I'd prefer I'd prefer companies like WADA not exist, frankly.
Right, but that's why I gave the option.
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
We need to watch that movie. That's a good movie.
What movie?
More
Casablanca.
preservation. More
Oh
game,
yeah, I've actually seen that.
Oh,
more game
good.
preservation.
Film appreciation class would make sure that I saw a classic like Casablanca.
Yeah, Casablanca is one of my all-time favorite movies, and people tell me that I'm an old man when I say that.
They realize,
But it's an example of a fucking amazing film that was made against the odds without a lot of proper support. It's dramatic, it's hilarious, it's one of the best.
they realize that a lot of these movies are still getting re-releases on Blu-ray and DVD, right? Not everything's on streaming services.
I just saw you.
Casablanca is.
Yeah, that's what. Okay, yeah, that's what I'm saying though. More preservation news. Some rare Mega Man games have been preserved, and guess where they're from?
Ooh.
They're not from the Game Boy or NES. They're not
Is it
even
from
like
DOS?
It's
That's
close,
Super Mega
more
Man.
obscure than that. It's actually on
Macintosh?
Japanese flip phones.
That makes sense.
Ah.
These look to be full-on 3D game. One of them is a full-on 3D game, while the other one is
I'm
an
in the
outright
ET dungeon.
sports game. One of them is an
Oh.
outright 3D game. I'm gonna tell you right now, it looks like something out of Mega Man Legends. The other one is an outright sports game.
I think with the soccer one with it.
Tennis.
Ah.
I think it's good either way.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's better than. Yeah. I mean, it's not a new Mega Man game, but hey, whatever.
And more preservation. Lost Operation Wolf sequel, Operation Tiger's second mission, has been preserved.
Woo!
I don't even know what
Hooray.
any of that is.
Operation Wolf was is a 2D shooter that was on, I believe, the NES.
Is it a tank
And as well. What?
Is it a tank game?
I don't think so. I think it was just a 2D shooter. And I think it had to do something with a trackball when it was on arcades. Hold on. Oh, yeah, I was thinking of the right one. No, wait, no, that's different. Operation Wolf is actually a... What is that? SMS. Oh, yeah, okay, I was right. Operation Wolf is an outright arcade shooter, but instead of actually using buttons, I think this what it looks like is a light gun game. There was supposed to be a sequel from what it looks like, but it never got released. And it doesn't look like a... Oh, no, wait. Yeah, it is. It's supposed to be a light gun game as well, but it never got released. An unreleased light gun game. That's something I never heard of. It's usually other stuff. Oh, and I have to ask you, why the fuck did you put music in?
Music in...
FIFA.
Oh, FIFA.
Yeah, and that's the exact question that's been asked. Because apparently, licensed songs were never supposed to be in FIFA.
Well, why did you put them in there, then?
That's the question. Like, why weren't they in there? Apparently, there was a guy that was passionate about music licensing, so he tried to do this as a first, like a marketing thing. This is supposed to be a marketing thing. So does that mean FIFA was the first game to officially have licensed music? That's actually pretty cool, if you think about it. And lastly, some not so cool news. Last bit of news, and this is sad and heinous. Marvel Comics and DC reportedly cut 2 stories because Gerard Jones was convicted of being a child sex offender.
Who's Gerard Jones?
Oh god, he even looks like a child sex offender. Gerard Jones was, let me see here. Oh yeah, it looks like he was a writer for Marvel Comics and DC. He was involved with Magnetic Men Volume 1, Opposites Attract. That was an amalgam comic. It looks like he was also involved with JLX as well.
Justice League.
No, JLX. Just JLX. I don't think they ever said Justice League of X or something like that. It was again, this is an amalgam comic. This is when they this is an in-universe thing. Okay, so after the whole Marvel versus DC comic line, what happened was the 2 entities that tried to compete against each other decided to fuse Marvel and DC and create a whole new universe called the Amalgam Universe, in which multiple characters would have fusions of each other and create a new character. For example, Mercury was that of Quicksilver and Impulse. The Night Creeper was of Nightcrawler and the Creeper.
The most famous, of course, would be Spider-Boy.
Spider-Boy was of Superboy and Spider-Man at the time. Darkclaw
I actually have a Spider-Boy comic somewhere.
What else is there? Oh yeah, Bullets and Bracelets were supposed to be a combination of Wonder Woman and Frank Castle, the Punisher.
That's an unusual setup there, but you know,
it's odd.
whatever.
But Bruce Wayne, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., was supposed to be their take. Was supposed to be, instead of Nick Fury, it's Bruce Wayne, and instead of Red Skull, it's the Green Skull.
And we had Batman, and who was Batman and
Wolverine turned into
Batman and
Darkclaw.
Wolverine.
There's some other ones that escaped. Oh yeah, Super Soldier was just Superman and Captain America combined. I know there's some other ones that are escaping me right now. Ray, which is kind of odd. It's the Ray and Cyclops fused together. It's just Ray. I don't know about that one. Speed Demon is the Flash and Ghost Rider combined.
Dude, that sounds fucking amazing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It was so popular to the point that Blizzard Magazine decided to create their own characters that they hope appear in Amalgam Comics. That would be the Manta, which is Superman and the Submariner combined. Spider Mite, which is Spider-Man and the Atom combined. Hell's Angel, which is Wonder Woman and Spawn combined. And man, what was another one? I forgot what that one was. But yeah, there was a bunch of other ones that appeared in Amalgam. Oh yeah, and the last one that comes to my mind is Will Magnus. Don't ask me. Don't ask me the combination. I don't know that. I don't know about that one. Oh, there was even one where John Jones makes an appearance with an Emma tattoo on his face. Who else do we know in Marvel Comics that has an M tattoo on his face? Oh, legit. Nobody knows.
I
Bishop.
don't remember off the top of my
I was
head.
about to say Bishop.
Bishop is a part of the
Oh,
X-Men.
Bishop. Right.
He has an M tattoo on his face.
For some reason, I didn't have Bishop in my mind when I heard that. I was like I was thinking, hey, he's got like this full face tattoo of an M, not...
He's literally the only guy in Marvel Comics that's got an M on his face. Come on now.
That's... yeah. Well, to come to think of it, that is kind of strange that he is the only one, considering how many mutants there are.
Well, there's a reason for that. Bishop actually comes from an alternate universe where mutants are practically labeled similar to how Jews were in the Holocaust, where they tattooed large M's on their faces to differentiate them from humans. Sort of like, you know, the Star of David. I know that wasn't their intention to compare the two, but that's the easiest comparison. They combined Bishop with the Martian Manhunter because it's revealed that one of the characters was a Martian, and that giant M is still on his head.
Because he's a Martian.
Right. So I actually thought that was clever. So it's,
Fuck you, Marty.
So you can see why it's a little sad, because the fact that Amalgam actually is a key part of the comic book industry, and the fact that one of them just so happens to be a fucking sex offender, one of the guys involved, is really surprising, because every other guy I hear about, and when it comes to the comic book industry, it's all other non-serious kind of drama.
Yeah.
You know, bankruptcy, homelessness, politics.
Well, you say non-serious, but it's like less
less serious was what I mean. Like less
right.
dramatic. Less dramatic. What I mean.
Yeah,
because
so
everyone.
we can finish it this topic, and I'm gonna call it for the night, cause
Yep.
Kevin's already called it, and I just died. So
I'll see you next week for Mario RPG again.
yay!
Hopefully by that time I can probably get my audio work.
Until then, I'm gonna go now. So I'll talk to you guys later.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
I'll see you Wednesday, probably, Alex.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I didn't want to.
I'm going to say the N-word.
Yeah, I don't want to. Hang on, we're not off the air yet. I didn't want to get us off from that discussion topic.
Nah, but for real, it's really odd. Like, okay, when I said homeless, I really did mean that. There was a famous comic book artist that was unfortunately left homeless. He had no.
There's been a few people like that where they've, where like the companies don't take their royalties, and the companies don't allow them to get their royalties, and they don't do the they just don't.
Yeah, unlike
they
the
don't
video
support
game
the
industry.
artists.
Unlike the video game industry and most of the movie industry, they don't allow they fuck over their stars more than they ever could. Because okay, yeah, there's a lot you could say about the movie industry, and especially the movie industry with like all conspiracies and like the cults and like the inappropriate touching, the Me Too shit, sleeping around to get a movie, that kind of shit. But here's the thing: at least with the movie industry, people have some sort of cut from a movie, a show. The comic book industry, you're lucky to even get $100. There's a reason why there's a reason why the guys who made Batman and Superman have been seen as the most unluckiest sons of bitches, because they were left with pennies, if they were even lucky to get that. You know, if you made a name for yourself, like say Rob Liefeld, Stan Lee, Jack Kirby, you know, what's the other guy's name? Todd McFarlane. Then oh yeah, you're gonna get a ton of cash. But guys like a lot of the artists though, a lot of them don't make it as big as say Rob Liefeld or Stan Lee. That's an unfortunate thing. And their art is really good. But again, unfortunately, they don't make it as big as Stan Lee and the others, so they're left with nothing. And the comic book industry outright refuses to give them royalties, despite their comic books getting re-release after re-release after re-release, or even the stuff they're involved in getting a sort of like an adaptation, you know, a video game DLC, a story, a movie, you know, an animated feature. It's still bullshit, and they get nothing. And what's funny is that the biggest case of that was, I forget what his name is, but I know his art style. The moment I see his art style, I can tell you I know it. He was left with nothing but his art and his car, and he was living out of his car. This is a one-handed artist, by the way. He did most of his art by one hand, and he was left with nothing. Like no physical therapy, no retirement fund. All he had with him was his art. Nobody cared. Nobody said a thing. It wasn't until the news, local news, said something about it and interviewed him did people talk about it. And you know who? And only one person I know talked about it. You know who that was? That was just some guy. That was it. That was all I knew who talked about it. Not Nerd Erotic, not Review Tech, not Side Scroll. Oh no, Side Scrollers wasn't a thing back in the day. Not like that anyway. But you know what I mean. Nobody talked about it except for him. Because I brought it to his attention. Not even Ethan Van Sciver said anything about it, and he was the one that was the most vocal in the comic book industry. Nobody talked about it. People need to bring up this shit, because I know we trailed from sex offender being fired, but like, dude, this is still a problem, because comic book guys get fucked over the most. Because I don't know about Image Comics or Valiant Comics; they're still around, but I haven't heard shit about them. Not as many problems from there. But it's a big thing if Marvel and DC are the only ones that get the most flack. Think about that. Like genuinely think about that. You don't hear anything from Image. You don't hear anything from Valiant. You wouldn't have heard a thing from, I was going to say Heroes of the Storm. You wouldn't have heard a thing from Wildstorm back in the day either. But it's Marvel and DC. It's always those two that get the shit end of the stick, because they're the ones who shit on the stick to begin with. They're the ones who screw over their creators and screw over a legacy every time. Whether it be making someone into a bisexual despite 18 years of being straight, or just outright refusing to pay royalties, they're always the ones that fuck over their creators. And nowadays, it's more prevalent because people are bringing it more to people's attention, and I don't like that. Like, I grew up with comics. My dad was a big comic book fan. He kept long boxes for a reason.
Yep.
And the fact that these guys are getting pennies to nothing is excruciating. It's painful. Like, imagine if I became part of Marvel Comics and I created a character that made them millions, right? From paperbacks to hardcovers, action figures, temporary
And
tattoos.
you remember how Watchmen wound up, right? The rights to Watchmen were supposed to revert to Alan Moore when the series went out of print. The series has never once come out of print.
Nope. That's and I don't like that. Dude, say what you want about Alan Moore. His politics are weird. He's a goofy bastard. He's an old man that yells at a cloud, but at the same time, behind that cloud is the DC building.
Yeah.
There's a reason why he's pissed off at the comic book industry. They outright will refuse to pay him a penny. Like, dude, renegotiate the contract. You're making millions off of your Watchmen shit. You're still selling Watchmen shit. I wouldn't be surprised if they made Rorschach DLC for the next Mortal Kombat. Dude, pay him. I don't care if you don't agree with his politics. He could believe that the spaghetti monster will come out right now and have sex with Taylor Swift and give birth to a bunch of Nazis. I don't care about his. He could have the most out-of-pocket, most weirdest beliefs out there. Pay the guy. Pay the guy. And yeah, I said what I said. He can believe, and that was just an example of like weird beliefs. Like, I could have the weirdest beliefs right now, and I could be working for Marvel and make them like a brand new character with a brand new storyline, and they could have millions. But the thing is, Marvel and DC have been screwing a lot of their creators, their artists, their inkers, their pencilers, everything. If your name is not Stan Lee, you're worthless.
Yeah.
If your name is not Jim Lee, you're worthless. Like, these guys are assholes. They've turned into assholes ever since the fucking agenda shit started leaking in.
Yeah.
And they turned into bigger assholes.
Part of the reason why they started bringing out all those new characters, it wasn't just to push the agenda, it was also so that they could not pay royalties on existing characters.
Right, but you're still trying to
make... They basically negotiated exploitative contracts for the new characters so that they'd have exclusive rights to all of it.
Right, but even then, the new characters are bullshit. No one likes.
But they don't care. Like, they want somebody that they can slap onto a T-shirt and not have to pay Stan Lee, Steve Ditko, Jack Kirby, etc. For, you know.
But there's the other
Bendis
thing.
Ain't getting a cut of half this shit.
There's the other thing, though. Regardless of their intentions of why they want to make a new character, it could be for like any heinous reason.
It doesn't matter what reason for, because all this shit's fucking stupid to begin with.
Yeah, it's like they're not making money off of these. It's like, it's not the fact that you're making a character no one asked for. It's the fact that you're not making us care.
Yeah, it's a matter of like, loath as I am to reference Jim Sterling in a positive manner, but Jim Sterling put it this way: hey, they'd rather make no money than some of the money. They want all of the money, but they'll take no money if it means that they can get away with, like, you know, cutting out somebody else's bottom line, you know?
But dude, they're in no position to start being picky. Make characters and hire people that you know will make you money. You have tried so many times with so many agendas, with so many political sides, that no one will take your shit anymore unless it's a movie or a video game people have been asking for. No one is buying your comics anymore. Oh, but the hundreds of sales. Yeah, the hundreds of sales.
Hundreds of sales. It used to be millions.
Those are people asking for the supply so they can make the demand they think that they'll make. They're buying your comics in thousands because they think they'll make thousands. They're not even making that. They can make as many figurines as they want. They're going to make money off that anyway. Posters, same thing. Merch sells. They always sell. You can make Spider-Man condoms. People are going to make money off of that somehow. But what they have to do is stop pushing agendas on every single character and make a story people will pay attention to and like. It's one thing if they pay attention, but they have to be invested in it. No one is going to buy your comic if all you're going to keep doing is bash on Trump and the non-existent patriarchy and the invisible threat that is the male gaze. Do something with that makes it imaginative, that makes us care. Like, okay, you want to make a feminism comic? Okay, make it something like there's another world out there that's like a quarter of them are men and like less than half of them are women, and make it a horror story or something like that. And so the main character has to escape to make it to a place called Earth or something like that. Oh, I'm finally free. That kind of thing. Don't make it like a whole page of nonsense that everybody's going to bash because how dare you have a political opinion that's also a shit take. Like, people have made comic books about their own political views, but they're good. The writing is good. It's like the anime. How do I know that Animaniacs exist? These guys are lefties, but they made a cartoon everybody can laugh at.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody. But because he didn't involve the original writers in the Animaniacs reboot, it's now just meh. It's just there. Marvel Comics and DC Comics need to realize that. Just because you have guys that can make an agenda out of everything doesn't mean they're good writers. Just because they can draw Ms. Marvel doesn't mean they can make Ms. Marvel. Sure, that's certainly a person in a costume, but why does it look like a man? Where's the curves? Where's the femininity?
Excuse me. Somewhere else.
That's what I'm saying. And this doesn't help their image. This really doesn't help their image. Having a fucking sexual predator being on the team, and then finding out that he's a registered now, which is worse. It's one thing if you're convicted, but now that you're registered a sex offender, that's a lot worse. So worry less about the agenda, worry more about the money. And then once you worry about the money, you can start tracing it back to when you started getting less. Learn from there, and then start making comics again. Or I'm sorry, start making good comics again. Because who's really going to want to... How many times are we going to see Spider-Man eat shit? How many times does Iron Man have
repeatedly?
To keep... Yeah, like how many times do we have to see Spider-Man eat shit so repeatedly, so often? How many times are we going to see Ant-Man punch a bitch? Because my mental issues. I mean, granted, they dealt with it tastefully, but it's still, still. It's just something they got to work on, man. And this is coming from a guy who...
Oh, yeah.
This is coming from a guy, again, who grew up with comics. I read Wizard Magazine. I have the magazines. My dad bought every single issue of Wizard Magazine up to the point they shut down. Or stopped printing them anyway. Really, guys? You have to stop at when the Green Lantern movie came out? Okay,
well,
whatever.
Nintendo Power stopped right at, like, the worst possible time. Fucking... trying to think of who else.
Yeah, but with Nintendo Power, they gave a send off.
Yeah.
They didn't act. They didn't act like this was just another day in the office. They outright redid their cover image as if it was the first ever issue. Like it was a homage. Wizard magazine. It was like, okay, just another day in the office. We're reporting on the movie, and then reporting on the comics, then the comic merch, then the polls, then our fantasy fight. It's like, dude, you knew this was going to be your last issue. What the hell? I'm going to stop here before I keep on rambling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see you guys. We'll see you guys later. I like how we've been abandoned by everybody except Damon now. Damon, promote your channel.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, bye.
Alright. It's bitshoot.com/channel/the DJ Brett12. Sorry I've been silent for most of it, though.
Oh,
You're
don't
fine.
worry about it, man. We'll see you guys later. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
I gotta remember that I'm in save state 3. Stave state.